All right, greetings everyone. This is Instructor Arnold with the Success from Within podcast. The podcast purpose is, as always, to help you bring success from within. We are going to be going over different aspects of personal protection and help you critically think and think out some things. And hopefully you'll learn from us and share some things with us and be better as a resource to yourself and your community. Today we are blessed to have the brother Anubis Heru on here. He's going to introduce himself and what he offers, and we're going to get into some topics after that. All right, go ahead, Anubis.
Boom! What's up, y'all? Man, thank you so much, Dre, for having me on. Anubis Heru, everybody. I'm here in Denver, Colorado with 1770 Armory and Gun Club. Also the creator and co-owner of Addicts Gear, which I'm always wearing my own threads. You know,
I've seen that nice mug you've been sipping out of, bro.
Yeah.
Show the mug off. Show the mug off.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Right? Beautiful.
Yeah, sipping on some chlorophyll water, bro.
Chlorophyll. I mean, people lunch on the chlorophyll, man.
Yeah.
Do you have the one with the little peppermint taste in it?
No, I just have the straight chlorophyll, the little droppers.
Okay.
Drop 18 drops, and it turns the water like crazy dark green, and you're like, okay.
I'm a plant now. Swamp Thing in this piece, baby.
This ain't bad at all, you know.
My mom put me onto it, and she had the ones with a little bit of mint inside of it. So, are you in Colorado? You're in Denver specifically, right?
Yes. Denver Metro.
What are some of the services you offer, and how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, so our website is 1770armory.com. The year 1770, and then the word armory.com. Some of the service we offer, man, concealed carry. We offer what's called a gun tailoring, like a suit tailor, but we're gun tailors. So basically what we do is people who need help and assistance finding the right gun for their application, whether it's home defense, concealed carry, if it's for yourself or you have a spouse, we want to make sure that both of you understand how that weapon system works in case of an emergency. Either one of you can pick it up and run with it, right? So we do that. It's about a 90-minute consultation. Another thing is we do the home defense. We have a 60-acre ranch out in another area within Colorado. Beautiful. Outdoor range, we go out there, we do our thing. We go to the indoor range, we do our thing. So we out here, you know what I'm saying? It ain't Cowtown, but we out here too, you know what I'm saying?
I love it. Now, I'm glad I got you on because I got your address. I'm going to send you some stuff in the mail. It's going to be for some copyright infringement because I offer the same services, and I've been doing it since 2008, man. my man.
Yours is going to be an hour though.
I want you to check that mail.
Yours is only an hour. Mine is 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
So that's funny. So like, in Halo Defense, we offer very similar things. So like one of the things is like Halo Defense stands for highly adaptable life offensive. So you got to adapt it for the person. I'm not going to be showing you how to do uppercuts and stuff like that if you got soft hands and you're not trained to box. It don't make no sense. Same thing with firearms. If you're not somebody who's going to be doing the range stuff every day, I'm going to get you something very simplistic and go over the basics with you. So we do similar things where we do an individualized instruction for the person so they can learn what works well for them. We go over what calibers work for them, what size guns. A lot of times people think those subcompacts are the ways to go. And I say, your face. The subcompact may be easier to carry, but if you can't get your hand, get good master grip on it, you can't shoot. Your groupings are trash. It flies out of your hand. It's micro and it's in the wind, baby. That's not good. So
it's snappy, awkward. You can't rack the slide. I'll be telling people all the time, yo, that adrenaline is gonna test your metal, bro.
Yeah,
like it's gonna test your adult. You know what I'm saying? Your adult fortitude, and it's just like, listen, you only got seconds. You can't be fumbling around with your little pocket rocket and, you getting stabbed up, So
that's beautiful. We do similar things. We offer stuff for couples because a lot of times you'll have someone has a firearm and you think, well, I'm the one with the gun. What if you up there wrestling with the dude in the doorway? Who's gonna get the gun now?
You got to create space, right?
You gotta create space. You got to have contingencies too. Like I know with my children, we had plans and stuff like that. Like if somebody kicks in the door, I can't be like, hold them off, son. I'm going to the safe. Beep,
What was my code? Oh shit, I forgot.
bring me the ammo. I need it. You can't do that. You can't do that, man.
No, they got laws out here that's like, you got to keep your ammo separate from your firearm, and it's got to be like, I'm like, man, I ain't doing none of that.
I like how you checked the ATF before you said that.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's true, man. The red flag laws are crazy too, and just people. I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and we were talking about people who want to legislate stuff to the government, like protect me, save me from all the madness, save me from danger. A lot of these people have a very firm disconnect with what is real violence. They've never experienced violence. So they think like, if I'm not a bad person doing bad things, nothing ever happened to me. Or, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say they live in these suburban bubbles where they don't even know how much a gallon of milk costs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they want to regulate, what my experience is in my neighborhood dealing with self-defense.
Yeah.
And just trying to get home to my family after working hard every day. Right.
You're not a cop. You making your family, sometimes you don't. Only the cops get to go home to their family, only the cops. And they make sure they do that every day.
Yo, in Denver, the average response from DPD, Denver Police Department, was 13 minutes, homie.
13 minutes is a lot of time for trauma to be inflicted, bro. It takes seconds.
It only takes seconds. Right? So I'm sitting here and like, these people are bugging about, law-abiding citizens and all the individuals that, are just trying to make it home. They don't go outside thinking, oh, today's the day, I'm gonna pop me somebody. Now you do have some situations where it's I'm white and I say so laws. And brother in the middle of Georgia, and it's considered road rage. Like, what firearms course did y'all take under the law that says shooting at somebody is not considered attempted murder?
Yeah.
That boggles my mind. Right?
It definitely is. Well, there's different rules applied to civilians and law enforcement. That's well been established. Right. The burden of ethics is different for both entities, and so is the burden of the ability to trust. Like, one's given a higher level of, we trust what you say, versus another. It's the whole agents of the state and the government being infallible. They're never held accountable to anybody, including themselves, which is why I don't understand why people want to give them more power when they act with impunity. Like, you might get rid of a figurehead, but the institution is going to still do the same thing. They might demote someone, they might move to a different office, but they're going to still keep doing what they're doing.
And then you have the Ulvade situation where these
pure madness, bro.
Officers are kind of scared to go in and do what they got to do, right? And like you were saying, like, do they have an obligation to protect? And the answer is no.
So for our two topics today, let's touch on briefly so people know what we get into. We're going to talk a bit about Ulvade, which I did a in-depth, like literally line by line analysis of the timeline. So this is a timeline given out by the Texas Department of Safety. And then I also do a timeline of context through the different law enforcement agencies. So all this stuff I have on my blog, it has timestamps, it has video links. So it's not just me talking, it's what the exact words of the people there said. So it's primary sources, not something I saw on a forum with some Trumpers or, some 5%ers or 3%ers or 22%ers, I don't know. It's all stuff that's come from quote unquote vetted sources, primary sources. And I waited a month to make sure all the information, because, a lot of times there's a lot of disinformation additionally. And sometimes there's people misstating things, and other times there's a lot of people cleaning up stories afterwards, which we know the government does a lot. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Ulvade a little bit today. And we're also going to talk about the well-known fairy tale that police have a requirement to come save you. They show it on the TV shows, man. They show it, hey,
gotta go in. We gotta go in. It's our duty.
Yeah, bro. It's that Ulvade thing. If people still believe that after Ulvade, I don't know what to say to you. I had an argument with some old heads in a barber shop, like, some brothers, they some elders, and they were legit coming like, yo, cops do this. I was just like, you've been around a little while. You really think like they're gonna come I mean, it depends on the officer. They may or may not, but we're going by the stats acts that the Supreme Court has upheld, that law enforcement, to make it short, has no obligation to put themselves in danger. They basically said that, oh, they can act with whatever discretion they believe is necessary, and they don't have any compelling reason to put themselves in danger, just like anybody else. If it's dangerous for you, it's dangerous for them. So they can be like, I'm gonna wait for backup. Exactly. So that's what happened in Ulvade. So all right, go ahead and share what you think about Ulvade. I'm gonna tap on it a little bit, but if you want to get all the details and the scholarly work, you gotta go to the blog and look at that.
And I listened to the Black Authority on YouTube, and he had a really in-depth analysis of it as well. I'm gonna check yours out. But yeah, man, it was craziness. A situation where what was that?
I said it's crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. It's
craziness. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that this was potentially preventable because this dude was, posting on social media about what his plans were when he turned 18 and what he was trying to do. And we all know the FBI and other alphabet boy organizations, have people like us flagged. And that's not because, I'm a, conspiracy theory, or I think I'm more than what I am. No, I just know from history, CointelPro, right?
Yeah,
so anytime you get Black people who self-identify and are wanting to be self-reliant and also dealing firearms, we being flagged, right?
You remember you had Hoover who said that the greatest threat to the U.S. security was Black unity. That's back in '69. J. Edgar Hoover.
So they need to prevent the rise of a Black Messiah.
He said the greatest single threat is Negro unity.
Not white supremacy, but Negro unity.
Yo, that's the greatest threat. This is back in '69, J. Edgar Hoover. And they put resources towards that. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It's not like hidden. These are straight facts.
These are declassified documents, homie. Yep. Like there's nothing to debate here. But so they I believe that they knew or had a idea, just like the dude that was, in Buffalo. They had an idea. These people had been flagged before, and law enforcement is like, oh, boys will be boys, right? They're not gonna do anything. And then they go and they shoot up these schools and grocery stores and things, and they're like, oh, no, he didn't. Yes, he did, right? And it's in places that are,
soft targets,
gun-free zones, right?
Soft targets, baby.
You can't have guns, gun-free zones, all that kind of stuff. So those are the places that they strategically pick. And another thing with the Uvalde is, what really, I know some officers, some Leos that are about that life. Like I know some, county marshals that go get the fugitives, like the real hardcore dudes, right? And will go get you, right? Those are the type of individuals that are really about that life and, will put their lives on the line, life, limb, and everything for the job and for the people, you know what I'm saying? But you got these macho tough guy, used to be bullied, like you said, in Bad Boys. You got your tight t-shirt and gun and badge, and now you're an overcompensating tough guy, right? That's real.
It is a real thing.
Who's walking around here who, want to pick a fight because they can. And, they're looking to be these quote unquote action junkies. And it's like, dude, that's not reality. So when the action really pop off, now you stuttering Stanley, right? And you're just like,
back up.
You don't lost all your training and you don't know what the hell to do now? Come on, man. Get the hell out of here.
Tactical response. Immediately. Tactical.
Right. Tactical. And I'm not, and I've never been in a gunfight where a combat situation where I've had to deploy my weapon system, right? But at the same time, I've been in plenty of high stress situations where in that first instance, I'm nervous and, I got butterflies but guess what? That's just the adrenaline. Once I center myself and I breathe, I'm like, oh, I know what this is, and you deal with it accordingly, right? So I'm just, I don't like the cowardice, right? Because we're like, oh yeah, rah rah, we're Americans and we're this and we're that and we're this and we're that. No, you're a paper tiger, bro.
Yeah.
And walk around
Which is a good
cosplaying.
movie, by the way, if you're watching on Netflix. Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
Which one?
Paper Tigers.
Oh, yeah, that was a great movie. It actually was. Yeah, Paper Tigers was dope. It was a very nostalgic.
Going to your point, I went through police academy, worked as a patrolman, and
Okay.
there are a lot of people who are, as you said, they're in the job because they were bullied, they didn't have friends, so they're trying to compensate. You also have people who are there, you know, looking for retirement, stuff like that. You have a lot of cops who, I mean, just even grow up in Philly. I've seen situations where stuff is hot and cops will literally wait till the shooting's done, the fighting's done, and then roll up. One of the articles I have that I'm going to be publishing goes directly to that, where there's a case with a dude named Joseph Lazito. He's Philadelphia, who was in New York. He was on a subway car. And you know how the subway cars, they had the conductor in the booth?
Yeah.
There are two cops in there. So this guy, you heard about the story? Yeah. So basically, this guy walks up, he's banging on the conductor car, trying to get the police's attention. The police ignore him. And then he turns around to his guy, Joseph Lazito, and just like, you're going to die today. So he starts trying to stab him with his 7-inch, whatever, 10-inch chef knife. So Lazito starts wrestling with him, fighting with him. He finally disarms the dude, gets him pinned to the ground. Then the cops emerge and say, we'll take it from here. I know, miraculously. So meanwhile, those two cops that were on the train, not one, two cops armed in uniform, were on the train just to catch the dude, because the guy was on a killing spree. He had killed 5 or 6 other people that same night. So the whole purpose of being on the train is to apprehend the dude, who they ignore and allow a civilian unarmed to fight to the death. No training, yeah. So the dude, that's one thing, highly trained, all that stuff. So one thing, the guy would have bled out because the cops were securing the scene post the incident. Didn't let him get immediate medical. A black person who's a construction worker came over and Lazito called him the napkin man because he kept staunching all his wounds with the napkins. So that's the only reason he didn't bleed out. So he goes to the hospital. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. This is on my article for the police won't, save you, But he goes to the hospital. All the news reports say that the cops saw the dude, jumped on and subdued him. They didn't say nothing about him. They say nothing about him fighting the dude for his life. They didn't say nothing about almost bleeding out. Just these two cops apprehended the dude. He sues the police department, and it gets dismissed. And I think he might have followed up to the Supreme Court, but basically suing like, hey, you guys were there armed in uniform. I could have died. And he never won the case. And it goes back to the same point that the police have no duty to put themselves in danger. And then also goes to another precedence that the Supreme Court has, is that cops can enforce the law at their own discretion. I got a court case for that. It's crazy. But back to the Ulvade thing, like you're saying, man, like there's always some sort of contact these people know. Like you can't be so crazy and not put up some sort of flares. Someone's going to notice you somewhere. You had classmates of his that said he's been acting strange. You had him on social media apps threatening women, doing great bodily harm to him, talk about killing. He had to be flagged somewhere. Somewhere had him flagged.
So this dude worked at Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about the actual weapon systems that he purchased?
They said he had 2 damn defense rifles, like 5,000 rounds. I was like, where he get 15?
He's right there.
I was like, where he get 15? Yeah, I don't know, bro. He's very diligent with his saving. He's very frugal in between threatening and killing people and cosplaying as a non-binary. I don't know. Cosplaying like he's, Alice in Wonderland. He's saved very frugally. That stuff is always suspicious for how they get these armaments. A lot of times, like you have the few times where they go into the parent stuff, but besides that, it's just a random bulk purchase. And like buying a rifle and stuff doesn't mean you know how to necessarily use it, load it, all that stuff.
Right.
Time for that type of stuff. Like you can go on YouTube, but you need time. You can't just do that out of nowhere necessarily. It's not as easy as people think. You just point and click, and okay.
Yeah. My other issue is, if a police officer can quote unquote enforce the law at his or her discretion, and they do not have an obligation to put their lives on the line for any given situation. Guess what, man? As a civilian, as a concealed carry permit holder, I can't just draw my firearm and point it at you for any arbitrary reason, right? Therefore, if I'm not suspected of committing a crime,
if you do draw, that's brandishing and a whole bunch of other laws.
right,
Brandishing is
right,
just you unholstering and having it present.
right, exactly. So my thing is, all these unarmed police murders, right? Listen, if somebody's unarmed, I don't want to hear you thought he had a weapon. I really don't want to hear that, because a lot of dudes like myself, I carry a freaking flashlight on my weapon system, right? And I'm deploying that fucking flashlight in the middle of the dark to see what I'm dealing with. So I don't want to hear these excuses, man. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
A lot of people, especially people with higher training, I was talking to some of my friends I know who are, special forces or whatever, combative type guys. They do stuff, And one of the things we were talking about was like a lot of these instances fall to a lack of ability and they automatically escalate to lethal force. If you have the ability to, it's a spectrum of force. If you have the ability to talk someone down, you have ability to use verbal judo, as they call it. You have the ability to use open hand skills. You have to have these things built up and you have to have confidence. If you don't have the ability, I'm talking to you, you shout back, oh, I'm shooting. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't want to lose. Which is a sad thing because this is disparity where the police use wantonly the lethal force, but they're not held accountable for it. Whereas like I said, I used to get in issues where growing up, before I was an adult, I've seen bodies. I've had people try to stab me, all sorts of violence before I was an adult. So as a cop, my emotional fitness was much more attuned to violence. So I could say like, all right, he's blading himself. Yo, bro, you blading yourself, so it looks like you're about to do something. Do you want to do that? Like instead of be like, oh, he's blading himself, I'm like, I'll 10 shots center mass. Like, no. And then also I would, for lack of a better word, it could be seen as overconfidence or hubris, but I would rather allow them to make a partial move and justify me having to do something than me jump the gun and beat the shit out of them or kill them. Because I was confident enough that I would be able to survive and get. Now, granted, me doing that puts myself at a greater risk, but I'd rather, in that role as a policeman, not as a civilian, as a policeman, allow myself to be at risk so that I don't unnecessarily endanger others. So that was my personal decision. And I think that is what most law enforcement should do. If you're going to take the job, you already know putting a uniform on, putting a badge on, you're going to be in risky situations. So as such, you should be comfortable and willing to be in those situations. If not, you got trash collectors, you got librarians, a whole bunch of stuff you can do. But your inability don't
one of my mentors was like, look, man, and he's a former Green Beret, and he was like, look, I don't have no sympathy for cops because that's the profession you chose. So
at the military, they have a higher standard, bro. You have to be actively fired upon and stuff before you start lighting people up. So they can point at you, but like, ah, damn, I don't got the green light to engage. Wait, they shot at me now. And then sometimes, depending on I don't know the exact term, depending on the mission, you might have to be like, I can't engage. I got to disengage and create distance. That's in war. In war, so they have a higher standard in war zones than they do on the streets of America.
Which I'm like, I thought we was Americans. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you can enforce the law at your discretion, that means that your personal biases and prejudice come into play.
Now that's a big thing too, because you had the FBI who said several years ago there were a lot of white supremacists. I forget the exact verbiage they use. White supremacists in law enforcement. Like how you just release this a report but don't do nothing about it. Like, so I mean, police are seen as these supermen. They're like on this pedestal a lot of times where they're seen as like, I'm a cop. No, you're still a person. You're a regular dude. You grew up being bullied. You got your biases. You're with your daughter dating outside of race. Or you might have your own traumas from getting, beat up, whatever it is, baby. That dude looks big. Heru's beard is real husky. I don't know. I can't take him. I got like, you got your own thing. So you're just a person with a badge and a gun and a job to do. You're just a person. Cops have bad days. I know when I was working, I've seen cops that had like DV incidents with their spouse. They come to work. And since they didn't have a certain outlet with their spouse, meaning they just, had to chalk it up or whatever, they go to a verbal argument, DV, we go to the call. They over there projecting and jumping on the dude because they're angry about that. Like, whoa, call compartmentalize it, bro. You got to break that shit up. Just because you got beef with your wife don't mean you can't, So that happens all the time, man. And a lot of people in these different professions don't have the proper mental services they need. And the culture is also toxic around them, Just as you might have people in war zones that get kind of cryptic. Same things happen with police, but they don't have it addressed. I mean, I know I saw a lot of stuff that was like, you know, y'all might want to get that checked out. Like, that's not healthy there, Playboy. Like,
yeah, you know, there was that whole defund the police movement, and
hold on a second, you're breaking up. Hold on a second, breaking up.
Oh,
all right. So Lat, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So last thing you're talking about the defund police movement.
Yeah. So my thought process was it was misguided because from my understanding, you know, it's a militarization of the police that's the problem, right? So the demilitarization of the police, like, you know, these cats is rolling around in tanks and got drones and automatic ARs and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, yo, we out here with semi-autos, and I get it. Sometimes y'all run up on, you know, a Ronin situation, right? Where it's like back in the 90s when them dudes robbed the bank and they was fully armored and all that kind of stuff.
That's crazy, man.
But I mean, how often does that happen, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's what they say was the reason they created SWAT after that.
And I get it, right? But at the same time, your instances of that type of thing happening are not that great to justify. What happens is the military will get rid of a surplus of weapons and equipment, and what they'll do is
mobile personnel carriers, all that stuff. Yeah.
What do? They sell it. They sell it to police departments.
It's all about the money game, man. That's what it is. They're finding, you know, places to offload their money and gear and keep it going. Yeah. The militarization, like initially they justified like, oh, we're going up against greater threats. I can understand if you storming like drug compounds and stuff. You got like, I know who, but they use it to like serve warrants for like dudes that like.
Unarmed brother that was running away was the greater threat, not running to y'all like he was the boys, a soup or something like that. What are y'all talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And not to mention 90 shots were fired.
Yeah.
30 of them rounds went somewhere.
Yeah.
It didn't hit him.
So it's crazy. So like, all right, it goes back. So the case where the brother's name Walker, is it? What's his name?
In Ohio?
Yeah, the one that got shot at the 90 times you were just referencing.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's crazy. So I'm gonna sound like I'm back at the blue here, bro.
Let's get it. Let's go.
As a civilian, right? We had law enforcement civilian. As a civilian, if someone shoots at you on the road, it's probably better to disengage and distance yourself. You don't have to engage that, you know. As law enforcement, part of the job is if there's a threat to the public, you're supposed to engage it. Now, once again, this goes back to their own discretion, like I said. So they call all the points bulls and they get on the dude. And once again, going back to how cops are people, they're not these like lofted beings that are above the law or above feelings of professionally trained or highly trained. They're people. Once they start chasing them, it's a whole thing like when I grew up. If you make a cop chase, he's gonna fuck you up if he catch you. You gotta know that's so what happened was he had a grip. I think it's like 14 cops was on his ass. Something like that. It was 10 plus. They must have had a whole department. I don't know how he stopped his car around the corner from the department. Anyway, he had like 10 plus cops chasing him. And they all got the adrenaline running. They heard shots fired. They looking to get in somebody's ass. It's bad. I'm not saying I'm justified, but that's how the mentality works. And that can be circumvented with, once again, more professionalism, more training, and other stuff like that. But a lot of times you have it's us versus them thing, you know. It happens all the time. I know, like I said, if I had the cops chasing me, I know like I'm gonna be getting. I'm either going Rambo First Blood, where I'm gonna be popping out of bushes and catching them, or I'm gonna be taking the L that night. Like I can't be like, oh, I shot at y'all chased me. All right, I give up now. Like because it's just the way they roll. It's the way they. I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that's a problem in terms of it needs to be trained differently. But that's how it rolls, man. It's craziness.
So I mean, and speaking of that case, right? the brother hopped out of the whip and left the gun in the seat.
Yeah.
So y'all can't say he was shooting at y'all, and y'all can't say y'all knew he had a gun.
Yep. But they don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Because the standard what they're held at is, you know, is completely different. Now, if you were a civilian that did that,
yeah,
someone shoots at you,
I'm under the
Rue does a pit maneuver, flips his car over, gets out, he's running for his life, you chasing that, right. Like, oh man, that's premeditated right there, Anubis. What you doing, bro? Yeah. It's completely different the way they hold it. Now, that is where the problem is. Because once again, they are just humans. Now, granted, they're doing a more dangerous job, but you should have to still articulate, identify, and be able to explain what you're doing. And oftentimes, they could just say, I felt threatened. But what does that translate to, feeling threatened? That could be anything and everything. Anything and everything. And that's how
goddamn lobster fishermen got a more dangerous job than you.
The greatest catch was
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear that, you know, I felt threatened and all this other kind of stuff. You got on body armor, you got all kind of different options to deal with that situation in a non-lethal way. You know what I'm saying? Folks is walking around here with, you know, non-lethal burner technology, you know what I'm saying? Like 72 feet at 400 feet per second and 28.
What's the burner technology you talking about?
Yeah, so there's a company out there called Burna, and what it is, it's a launcher, but the platform looks just like an actual firearm. They got a AR platform, they got a regular pistol platform, and kind of like a it's like a cross between like a Vector and a CZ Scorpion, right?
Okay.
And what it does is it works off of CO2 compressed gas. So it's like a paintball gun, but it shoots defensive projectiles. So it's got the pepper balls, it's got the kinetic balls, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'm just like, you know, it's hard to tell at night when you're dealing with a situation like that. But at the same time, training can overcome all that shit. I don't want to hear that, you know, just because it's at night.
Now, one thing I noticed too from the videos I saw, it didn't look like anybody illuminated them.
That's what I say. Bro, EDC check real quick. You know what I'm saying? I got a light.
Now, you're not supposed to use your light to illuminate things you're not shooting in Anubis. All right, bro, you can't. But one of them could have easily.
Officer, you don't want to see what the fuck you shooting at?
I agree. You're supposed to see what you're shooting at, but you don't want to muzzle everything. That's what they said. But going to the point of illumination on them, somebody could have easily put a strobe on them. A strobe is just as damaging as anything else, especially at night.
Yes,
so somebody could have put a strobe light on them and disorientate them. Somebody could attack them. So we're doing this whole Monday morning quarterback, but it goes back to what is your standard? Your standard to be.
My bad. That's the.
He's just talking about African boys, bro. He's just talking about
African bird. They like, he just pulled out his firearm. Go get him. Call in SWAT.
He just pulled out firearm. Get him. But so it all depends on what the standard of what you want to have. So, like, I mean, if you want to hold your police officers to a higher standard, like no one does any shooting unless you know there's a imminent threat, then that'd be a whole completely different culture change. You probably had cops resign and all sorts of stuff. But like I tell people a lot of times in my classes that a flashlight is a very potent weapon, especially at nighttime, because you can easily disorientate somebody for 30 seconds or more.
I do armed security at nightclubs and stuff like that. And if
it's somebody a nice little 1,000 lumens real quick.
Bro, my stream light is potent, homie. Like, ma'am, sir, please exit the premises. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I ain't going that. Okay, well, I'm gonna hit you with this strobe and you ain't gonna be able to see tomorrow. Do it, motherfucker. And they're like, they try to fight it like, this don't hurt. Oh,
it's burning the retinas. It's burning.
Dude, like, come on, man. Like, I think the non-lethals in dealing with, and don't get me wrong, like I carry non-lethals and I carry the last resort, but I understand that that's the last resort. That's not the first thing.
But you're coming from a different background. You have a higher threshold that needs to be passed, and you have a higher value for life. It's just that simple. And that's the only reason I went through that stuff too, because I seeing violence, didn't want to bring that to anybody unless it was absolutely necessary. I don't want you to have to go through physical therapy, try to learn how to use your legs again. I want you getting reconstructive surgery. I don't want them putting up your 8th grade picture at the wake. You know, I don't want to go through that. And then also, I didn't want to also go through possibly knowing that I didn't do everything that was necessary to possibly prevent this, you know? But all right, so back to the Ulvade thing. There's all sorts of flags up beforehand. Law enforcement was in. Let me pull it up real quick. Law enforcement entered the. So he got on site at 11:33, and law enforcement was in the building at 11:35, bro.
What?
He was like 5 minutes from a police station, bro. There's a school resource officer that wasn't there, but then he drove by and drove off. They got a call about
by the dude.
Yeah, they drove by.
When I hear, I'm like, so he saw that fool and was like, oh shit, they don't pay me enough for this.
That could have happened, bro. That could have very well happened. I wasn't there. I'm only going by the facts. All right, Anubis. I don't know what was there. But anyway, they said they were in this side of the school within 2 minutes, and then they received grazing wounds and retreated, bro.
Yeah, I saw the video.
It was from the DPS dude with the hat on.
Yeah.
The whole Texas get up, bro. He said they got grazing wounds. We gotta fall back. That was 3 cops, bro. 3 cops. 3 more cops show up. 3 more cops show up. And
it's
a deputy.
Not funny, but
it's crazy. So within 5 minutes, there were 7 armed law enforcement officers. 7.
See the dude with the shield, the ballistic shield?
The ballistic shield, I got. So did you see the video, the screenshot from the camera inside the school? So they had that with the ballistic shield. They showed up with a ballistic shield. We have proof they were with a ballistic shield. Hold on a second. Let me see. I'm trying to find a timestamp. So the timestamp for the ballistic shield is at 11:52. So that's proof they were there at least within 20 minutes. But he didn't die for another. Hold on. After the ballistic shield was on site, he didn't get clipped for another 60 minutes almost.
And not by a Ulvade on-duty Leo.
Oh, you must have read my article, bro. Did you read my article or you just seen it?
Bro, I pay attention. Like,
that's on my article. So the dude that showed up was they try to say he's a Border Patrol tactical agent. All right, y'all frauded. He's on a Border Patrol tactical team, but he wasn't there in that capacity. No. He was there because his wife texted him, said, yo, we got some trouble. Help me out. My man got up out the barber seat.
Shotgun.
He turned to his barber, who's a civilian, said, I need your shotgun, bro. So that shows why civilians need to be armed. He got down there. It's a small town. He knows the people that, yo, what's happening. As a smart dude, he started trying to get some information. He just running there like Rambo. So they said we're doing X, Y, and Z. I would assume, so this is, I'm saying assuming, afterwards, like, yo, this is some old bullshit. I'm going in for my wife. They try to say like, oh, he was helping escort kids out. He might have done that for like 2 minutes. He's like, wait a second, y'all not rushing in? Fuck this.
Well, because the officers were sitting there waiting. And so he comes on the scene. And he's like, yo, what?
Wait, he comes on the scene with his barber cape still on, bro. The cape.
Listen, homie, I'm with it. My wife texted me. My kids text me, yo, I'm in the store.
Something's happening, folks. I'm in aisle 5. I'll be like, I'm on it.
I'm like, they outside just waiting? SWAT's outside waiting?
So there's instances they have of children calling 911 and saying he's in here and they hear gunshots. There's one instance where the cops were in the hallway, called out saying police, somebody responded, and then they got shot by the shooter. I was like, this is crazy.
There's a girl that called on 4 different occasions, bro. Like, why are y'all? I can hear the police in the hallway. How much time they just sitting there, bro. It makes no sense. So apparently, there's a couple different things using a couple stories to kind of cover up. One was the dude in charge, Rob, whatever his name is. What is it? The dude who's in charge. Anytime you have an incident, you have someone, a commander in charge. Yes. He said he didn't know he was the commander in charge. Let me get his name real quick. So much incompetence.
Yo, he said, all right. So his name is Arredondo. All right, Pete Arredondo. He said he didn't know he was an incident charge commander. He also left his radio behind to rush in to save the children. I was like, wait. How you rushing to save the kids but don't save no kids? Like, bro, there's only one shooter. You act like you rushed it and took out like 5 out of 10. How you rushed it and not get nobody? How you rush?
John McClane situation, dog.
Anubis, explain that to me, Anubis. How he leave? He said he left his radio because it's going to slow him down. How you running to rush to save kids but not save none? How that work? How that work, Anubis?
Bro, there's two
school?
things.
He's at the wrong
Two
school.
things.
What happened, Anubis?
Your comms, right?
You need
'Cause
comms so you can coordinate. If me and you go run something, we're gonna have some comms, bro. I got my little bow phone with me. What channel we on, bro?
I got a bell phone with me. Like, what's up?
If it's bad, I'll just chirp you, bro. I'll chirp
You,
bro. I'll chirp you if it's that bad. Like, we gonna have comms. Like, how you have a whole incident happen to you and got no comms?
Your comms in your weapon system, bro. Like, come on, man.
Thing is, after the police chief was there, they would treat him like a barricaded subject. How you treat him as a barricaded subject when he's barricaded in with other fucking people? How?
That's way.
How?
Yeah.
At first, they try to blame the teacher, saying like, "Oh, she left the door ajar." Did it? You know, they always try to pass the buck. The door that was supposed to close didn't close. That's not her fault. She's not in charge of door property maintenance, structural maintenance. And then y'all didn't show up. Like, they said they were waiting for a key to get in. When have you ever heard of cops waiting for the key to make entry to anything?
I heard about that. I'm like,
bro, they said they waiting on a key from a janitor. Bro, they said he's waiting on a key from a janitor. Yeah. Anubis. when have the cops showed up and be like, we have a warrant? Oh, we ain't got no key? All right, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for somebody to bring us a key.
Yeah, I mean, they would definitely have an extra situation on their hands if me and my crew pulled up, because we pulled up locked and loaded, and we like, yo, either y'all gonna shoot us, y'all gonna deal with us, deal with him, or we going in, and y'all ain't gonna do shit to stop us.
Pretty much, bro. I was talking to one of my friends basically that, if you show up with a small determined crew, like, all right, we're here, but you don't even gotta say nothing to them. We run because they probably ain't gonna step in your way. Just run straight in and stick here. Like,
I mean, if you acting bitch for one dude that's barricaded inside a school, what you gonna do with a whole squad of dudes that's determined and ready to go in?
Now, also, first they said he was armored, then he wasn't armored.
He had a tactical vest on. That doesn't mean he was armored.
Yeah, no plates. And it's just pure madness, bro. Did you hear the report of how cops were saving their own children in the beginning? So initial cops,
if that was validated or not,
bro. I got the video clip. You need to go to my blog for the article. There's a video clip of the dude from the police department. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look at that real quick. All right, so this dude, Texas DPS. What's his name? Shit, I click it. I'll share the screen real quick. Hold on a second.
All right, for sure.
If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the situation is.
All right, so this is from the Texas DPS. All right, this is from May 24th, right? Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
All right.
I'm gonna try to pump up the volume. If I don't hear nothing coming through. You hear anything?
I don't either.
Oh, they hating on me, bro. They hating on me. Oh, wait. All right. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see if there's another way for me to do it. Hold on a second. I'm gonna stop real quick so I can try to get this up for us. Let's see, video. See, sometimes Zoom be acting goofy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try one more time. If not, I'll send it to you and maybe you can play it.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't coming through. Hold on a second. I'm gonna send it to you. You can see if you can pull it up.
All right, cool.
But literally, if you look at the statement, the reporter asks a question. The reporter says something on the lines, we heard reports that the police were saving their children when they arrived, something on those lines. And a dude does not deny it. He says yes, and then he says we had to thank the brave officers for So first, he didn't categorically deny it, which is an admission by itself. If someone says, like, Anubis, I heard you were touching little boys and all the face. Whoa, let me stop you right there.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
Touching, all right? God damn it.
Man, touching no kids now. Shit.
I ain't touching no kids, god damn it. But he did it first, he didn't correct or deny it. And then he made a statement confirming it pretty much. See if you can, I sent it to you in the chat. See if you can pull it up.
Yeah.
But like I said, I did this, like as I said, I did a critical analysis, bro. They had that were saving their own children. And then
an update for us.
Let it play, bro.
Yes,
all right.
Deborah, we're here with Lieutenant Chris Ulvade with DPS. He's going to tell us a little bit more about what he's learned that happened out here at Robb Elementary today. And Lieutenant Ulvade, we've just learned that 18 students have been killed.
Right, Vanessa. So first I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene, that actually were involved in the scene, actually made entry into this school and saved more lives. That, of course, we lost 18. But I want to praise those brave men and women of law enforcement. Also, offer our condolences on behalf of Texas Department of Public Safety to the families, to the victims.
She's about to ask you a question. Watch.
So what we do know right now that the suspect was involved in a family disturbance earlier on the day with his grandmother, in which he shot his grandmother. From that point on, what we do know is that local law enforcement received a call of a crash and a man with a gun nearby where the school's at. At that point, local law enforcement responded to the school. The suspect made entry into the school, and as soon as he made entry into the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever was in his way. He was shooting everybody. We had, of course, as I mentioned, brave law enforcement made entry into that school, exchanged gunfire with a suspect who was wearing body armor. Several police officers were shot. At that point, we did have a tactical law enforcement team arrive on scene. They made entry. They were also met with gunfire by the suspect, but they were actually able to shoot the suspect, and now the suspect is deceased. As of right now, we do have 18 children confirmed that are deceased, as well as 2 adults, one of those being a teacher.
Wait, she's gonna ask about the children.
And we've also heard word that Border Patrol agent was struck with gunfire, a few officers shot. We've heard that some law enforcement officers actually went into school to get their kids out. Can you talk about that?
Right, so what we do know, Vanessa, right now that there was some police officers, families trying to get their children out of the school because it was an active shooter situation right now. It's a terrible situation right now. And of course, just as we mentioned, the loss of life, it's just terrible.
You right there.
But again, we got to keep
So did he deny it, Anubis?
Bro.
Anubis, did he deny it?
No, he did not.
So that's like we say, like it's like somebody's been like, oh, we heard you were robbing from the children's fund. I don't steal from the children's fund. No. He said, we would like to thank them for their brave sacrifices. And
that was a classic PR response. I mean, like, yes, and by the way, like, homie, damn near none of that was factual, dog.
No, none of it. He wasn't armored. It wasn't no TAC team that went in and got him. It's crazy, bro. But you heard it. He didn't say there were no cops that were not saving their children. Did you hear about the lady that drove 40 miles and got tasered? No, she didn't get tasered. She got handcuffed, and then got out her handcuffs, went in, got her 2 children, and left.
Yep.
How do you drive 40 minutes to an active shooter scene? Get there, get detained by. You get there after driving 40 miles, get detained, get out of your restraints, and then go save your children before the police do anything. How?
Bro, that's called determination.
How?
That's called I'm saving my babies. To hell with all of y'all.
All right, I understand what you're saying from the mom's point of view, but how law enforcement? That's my question. How law enforcement? How? 40 minutes, bro? No, not 40 minutes. 40 miles. Not 40 minutes. 40 miles.
Okay, 40 miles. So she must have been like
clocking it,
pedal to the metal, honking, swerving in traffic.
She's in the Mach 5, bro. She's in the Mach 5.
Disobeying traffic signals, everything.
She may have brought some actual law enforcement with her.
Right.
Might actually follow. Yo, it's been all sorts of crazy stuff happening. So what else happened in Ulvade, y'all? After that, the police chief who didn't know he was in charge of the incident got promoted in a private ceremony. That was weird. All sorts of goofy stuff happened around it, bro.
So you know, these dudes that are rah-rah about the blue line, the thin blue line, and you know, blue lives matter, and you know, all this other rah-rah stuff, right?
Rah-rah.
It seems to me that kind of rhetoric doesn't happen until they are, you know, disproportionately shooting unarmed Black people and saying, hey, if you would have just complied, we gotta back the blue, right?
Have you heard the one about you need to dress nicer?
Bruh.
Is it like they weren't lynching Black folks in suits and ties and
most of the people they lynched were business owners.
Did you read that book Without Sanctuary?
No.
You gotta read. All right, so this is a book called Without Sanctuary. It chronicles America's obsession with lynching. All right. It has firsthand accounts, meaning they interviewed people who were there. They have news clippings. They have postcards, which were sent around like Christmas cards for lynchings, all this information. And
Bro, they have body parts pickled in jars, homie.
These are like my man Nat Turner. They sold parts of them. There's probably somebody with some parts of them in the basement now. It was a whole event, you know. Instead of going to a movies, we're gonna do lynching tonight, you know. But the book Without Sanctuary goes into the backstories, and it shows by and large it was either business disputes, land disputes, or money owed. You basically burn someone on a business transaction. They say they ain't gonna let it ride, and be like, oh well, instead of that, I'm gonna do blah 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 blah. So I mean, that once again boiled down to people having the access and means, because in different places where people were armed, they weren't doing that. It's just that simple. You can't lynch me if I put, you know, 5 or 6 good rounds in your center mass. You know, you doing the room temperature challenge. At that point, you ain't worried about no rope and nooses on my neck.
Right.
Which is why people say, you know, all gun control is racist too. You know, they weren't worried about gun control until you have free black men and women going around the U.S. But yeah, check out that book Without Sanctuary, man. It's a fantastic book. It's very graphic, so you gotta like pace yourself. But
yeah, it sounds along the lines of the delectable Negro.
Yeah.
Yeah, homie.
It's an interesting culture we live in, man. It's a crazy place, man. All right, so let's touch on a little bit about the John about how cops don't have a duty to protect you. I was talking to some old heads I know at the barbershop. Cliche, yeah, this really happened, at the barbershop. And we were talking about Ulvade. And they're like, oh, well, those cops stand out front. They're going to get charges brought against us. I said, ain't no charges going to be brought against those cops. It's not. They're like, oh, well, they were supposed to be real cops. They got, you know, negligent manslaughter for not doing anything fat. I was like, no charges are going to be brought, and the damn sure ain't going to be sustained. And they're like, well, a real cop would. I was like, all right, I know you're old heads and all, but let me share a little bit of knowledge with you. And he's just like, oh, you don't know, you would have been a sucker cop. I was like, oh, you going to just do ad hominem attacks on me. Okay, man. But first of all, I was a cop. First of all, I was a cop. I have literally stopped, before I was a cop, DVs. I stopped people from being jumped, all that before I was a cop. So me with a badge and a gun and radio, I'm going to be doing it to the 10th degree. But anyway, so I point out the case about Joseph Lozito, the dude being stabbed on the train. Oh, that was a one of let me pull up this other job. So this is going to be an article I'm going to be dropping probably over the weekend or whatever. But basically it talks about, I picked out 3 very pivotal cases around law enforcement and the Supreme Court basically stating that one of 2 things: law enforcement has no duty to put themselves in danger, just like anybody else. If it's dangerous for you, it's dangerous for them. So they get to decide if they want to act or not act. And then also that law enforcement gets to decide how they enforce things to which degree. All right. So let me share this one brief story about this lady. What's her name? No. I don't want that one. Not Joseph Lozito. All right, so there's one with this lady. I gotta find the name of her. All right, I'm gonna run the gist of it for you, and then while you respond, I'll go find it. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. All right. Let me see. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen with you real quick.
Okay.
You can see it. Can you see my screen? It says facts of the case.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is Castle Rock versus Gonzalez. Castle Rock is the township. Gonzalez is the person petitioning or responding. Okay. All right, so basically this woman had a restraining order against her estranged husband. This is going to be in an article if any of y'all interested in following up on his reading. I'm not, you know, blowing no smoke up no skirts and nothing like that. Although that is fun on the weekend sometimes with your lady, you know, have some fun. Anyway, so the facts of this case says that this woman, Gonzalez, had a restraining order for herself and her 3 daughters against her ex-husband or estranged husband. The husband shows up, abducts the children, right? So she goes to the police and says, hey, y'all got to do something, find my husband, And the police tell her to wait and see if the husband returns the children. The husband winds up murdering all 3 of the children. After he murders the children, he goes to the police station where he's fired upon and he's killed. So she's like, yo, I had a restraining order. I told y'all to go get him. And y'all told me, you know, cool my jets and wait. My children are now dead. You guys are culpable for this. You should have acted. Right? That seems to make sense, right?
Yeah.
So this is the question. can an holder of a restraining order bring a procedural process due claim against the local government? Basically saying y'all didn't do what you're supposed to do, and then it led to bad things happen, right?
Mhm.
No. So in a 7-2 decision, the court ruled that she had no constitutionally protected interest, saying that they have to act to protect her or her children.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? She literally has a restraining order. She literally told you about the person, literally told you where he was. And they're like, nope. And they said that the, hold on a second. It says, this is what the Supreme Court said. This is specific action to be taken is up to the discretion of the police. Bro. I was like, how crazy can you get? She has a restraining order. She tells them, they go back and respond to like, oh, let's just wait and see, you know, maybe show some Disney classics to them or some shit. And then they all get murdered. And she's like, yo, I told y'all, this is why I got the restraining order. This is why I told y'all. Y'all could have stopped this, should have stopped this. They're like, we get to decide what we want to do, how we do.
So now would they have brought charges on her if she kicked down the door at gunpoint to save her babies?
Who knows, bro? I would imagine they're probably, I mean, it really depends on whoever is the DA and who's the responding officers. But you have this thing called the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. The letter of the law is very straightforward, but the spirit governs everything. Oh, little Tommy joyriding through the neighborhood. Oh, he's just having fun. He's a teenager. Little Jamal joyriding through the neighborhood. That hardened criminal. He's gonna
get his ass.
Don't make no further movements, bitch. It's crazy, bro. It's literally the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. And it really comes back to the people, because once again, they're just people. They're just people. But you see right there, it wasn't even close, bro. It was 7-2. They have at their own discretion to decide how they want to enact it. So they didn't say that she had the wrong claim. They didn't say that she filed it wrong. They didn't say any of that was wrong. She had them dead to rights, quote unquote. It's up to them. And that's one case out of so many cases, bro. I got like 5 or 6 cases on there from very similar things. There was one woman who was being brutalized for hours, called the police. The police show up. No one responds to the door. They drive off, bro. Anubis, did you hear what I said? It's hard for me to answer the door when I'm being sexually assaulted. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me get this guy off real quick.
Bro. And it wasn't like it was like and this went on for hours, bro. One of the neighbors called again. The cops came back a second time, and I don't even know they knocked on the door the second time. And then the third time they didn't even respond, bro.
Well, I mean, that's just like the case of, Jeffrey Dahmer moving into a predominantly black neighborhood and eat niggas.
Yo, did you hear about one of the people escaped from Dahmer? They caught him and returned him back to Dahmer? Bro, I was like, what? I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. I would have made some real further movements. You ain't going to eat my ass. I'm going to just get shot and killed here. At least let my ass go with me to the great by and by, bro.
I might have punched the cop in the mouth and they'd have been like, oh, hell no. Yes, please arrest me.
Anubis, the devil I know is better than I would have taken the L right there in the police station. Yo.
Yeah.
You put me back in no basement of Dahmer. Like, come on, bro. So yeah, I mean it's crazy. I remember hearing that one of the guys escaped from Jeffrey Dahmer, got to the police, and the police returned him to Dahmer. I was like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But you remember Paul Mooney had that expression, the complexion for protection,
Yeah. And then our young brother Deontay something. He was in the foster care system. Him and 6 other kids. And it's a famous photo of him hugging this cop because he had on a little sign that said free hugs. And these 2 white ladies were abusing them kids. And they ended up killing themselves and, the kid, you know what I'm saying? So, we got to be vigilant about, our babies being caught up in this foster care system. And there's a whole lot of other stuff going on. But back to, the police officers not having, can you imagine if that was our military?
Regarding
what? They don't have a duty to protect. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's. I mean, but the thing is, they don't allow that in the military because you would be court-martialed. You would be, all sorts of stuff would happen. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's that whole thing comes back to the same thing: the government acting for their interests with impunity.
right,
The,
right.
the law enforcement institution is an extension of the government, and they have it. The Supreme Court has upheld that the police have a duty to protect the community, not the members of the community. So but once again, that's at their own discretion. So police are
Sounds
there to
like,
protect property pretty much.
yep.
It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. I want to touch later onto that the child foster care system and all that stuff, because all sorts of crazy stuff. But I want to do some research instead of shooting from the hip and all that. But there's all sorts of numbers when you had recent, with the migrants moving in, or illegal migrants. I'm not going to call anybody illegal immigrants, whatever. But the hundreds of thousands, whatever number of children disappearing in that system when they got caught. There's all sorts of stuff. You got Ghislaine Maxwell. Nobody been brought up on charges after that. Johnny Depp was on every news channel you can find, but there's nothing talking about Maxwell. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Like
now we sound like conspiracy theorists. Thanks, Anubis. Thanks.
So yeah. Well, here's my tinfoil baseball cap. Right. So in Colorado, right? Because Black people, I'm not an organ donor. No, I'm not.
Y'all gonna have to fight for everything because y'all ain't getting nothing if I check. Y'all gonna fight.
Right. So in Colorado, there's a case of a funeral home director who got busted selling the body parts of someone who should have been cremated.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's you're gonna have to send me this, bro. We're gonna have to, the whole thing, man. So even back with Planned Parenthood, fetus body parts are a high item. You wouldn't think about it, but there's a price tag attached to everything. And those fetal body parts get sold. You have, so many people that go missing of the browner shades. Those things are sold. You got now we sound like conspiracy theorists. Goddamn it, man.
No, I mean, like, listen, I lived it, bro. Like when my wife gave birth to my daughter, we had to sign a whole bunch of documents and paper. They made us go through a whole bunch of bullshit paperwork to keep my wife's placenta. It came out of my wife's body. So why are we writing all these? Why are we getting permission? We didn't want to have the baby in a hospital anyway, but there were some complications that required us to go from the birth center to the hospital. We was like, for real, we got to deal with these motherfuckers. All right, cool.
Oh, it's crazy, bro.
It was hanging with my children, all kind of shit, man. We was like, yo, we said natural. We don't want no drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
The funny thing is with my 4 children, I was literally like, for lack of a better word, a prison signing. Anybody that came through that's still in that door where my wife was and the children, they had to sign what they were doing, the title, why were you here? And I watched them motherfuckers. And then when the children were being, taken out to be washed, I went right with them like, you ain't doing no switcheroo. Oh, you had a baby here? Where'd it go? I don't know. And people think, oh, you're crazy. Like that has happened. People have given birth to children and children disappear.
Not my melanated baby.
Yeah.
No.
Not my melanated baby.
No, not my melanated children.
So you were saying about how crazy it was, how you had to fill out all this paperwork to do the stuff at the hospital, keep me placenta.
Yeah, because, we wanted to encapsulate it. And because there's, research that says encapsulating the placenta it does various things, and in the future you might want to have it, right? All that weird,
holistic.
Yeah. So, but they had us signing all kind of paperwork. I was like, yo, like, this is crazy. Why do y'all want to keep this so bad? Right? So, okay, so that my tinfoil hat is on, right?
All right, let me do my disclaimer first. The Health Defense Solutions are not a tinfoil supporter. All right, we deal in hard facts. All right, go ahead, Anubis. Go ahead, bro.
So, can you tell me how much on your computer is it an ounce or a gram of melanin is worth in the synthetic form.
All right, so they said a gram of, hold on, a melanin is between $400 and $550.
Okay. Now juxtapose that with the same amount or same weight for how much gold is worth.
All right, gram of gold. All right, so for gold, hold on a second. Hold on. Give me the numbers, Google. Give me the numbers.
Yeah, give me the hard facts, homie.
The hard facts, bro. I'm trying to get these facts here. Hold on. That's crazy. It's $55 a gram. So I used to always say, so this goes back to like, there's a very good book that talks about like anyway, there's a reason a lot of Black people have distrusts for Western medicine. You got Tuskegee, you got
medical apartheid.
Yeah, medical apartheid. You got also, I forget, but there's one they had in the 70s where I think it was St. John's. I'm trying to remember what university was. John Hopkins. Thank you. See, that's why it's good to have smart brothers around.
Niggas been missing in John Hopkins, bro.
Yeah.
And still to this day.
Yep. So it's a lot of stuff. You remember when was it Katrina? There was some natural disaster that was happening. And they found a place that had all these Black body parts in it, came floating out. So this sounds like conspiracy, but these are things that actually happened. So you have to consider if this is what is happening that we find documented and is hidden, what is not being documented.
Yeah.
So I mean, I put on there like, you ain't taking my organs. Like when I die, like I want them all put in the same shoebox with my Jordans. Like I want that in like a little sarcophagus drawn with me. I ain't taking nothing. I won't give no opportunity, no excuse.
Yeah, well, my wife and I, we have a will and a trust because my wife's a financial advisor.
Smart.
And the last thing we want is, God forbid, the main breadwinner, something happens to them. And now we got to fight the courts. And
you heard about Chadwick Boseman and his estate?
Bruh, she made a post about it and got a ton of clients off of that. She was like, y'all, and he's dealing with millions. Most of us ain't dealing with that amount of money, but they
lost almost a third of their money just because there wasn't a will and estate. I don't believe that about Prince. I think they do that stuff on purpose. Prince, smart as Prince was, he ain't had no will. Come on. Michael Jackson, smart as he was, he ain't had no. Come on.
Come on, man. Nah.
I don't know about Michael, but I definitely heard about Prince. Once again, this is me shooting from the hip because I didn't actually research these. So if y'all want to try to say something, y'all go, take a long walk off a short pair. But I mean, Chadwick Boseman, they said he didn't have a will, and the government took at least 1/3 of his wealth, which should have been distributed to his family and stuff like that.
$900K went to probate court, homie. For what?
Pushing paperwork. That's Anubis. That's why I'm considering getting into being a lawyer, bro. I was like, wait a second. They be getting banked for just copy paste.
$600 an hour.
And that's not even a good lawyer, Anubis. That's a lawyer showing up with like coffee stains on your depositions and stuff. What's your name? Anubis? All right, Anubis, how you doing? Good, high five, bro. High five. All right, we're ready for this. Let's go in there. They're not gonna get you for child support today. I got you. Like, God, that's not even the case we're here for, bro. Like, what are you talking about? 5 G's for a retainer? Just to what?
Yo,
they retainers are crazy. This is one dude I know of in Pennsylvania. He's real good for 2A stuff. He's like nationally really, really good. And his retainer starts at $150K, bro. $150K. Just you need me for anything. Just sign that house to me real quick. All that. He's in there playing your PS5 while you trying. Just sign that house to me right quick, bro. Let me get that lighthouse off you real quick, bro. You need some $150K as a retainer, bro. And it always goes past the retainer. You never get 149,000 back of your retainer. You know what? It's such an easy case. Here's 149,000 back. Never. That retainer's gone, bro.
No, it's gone.
Gone.
Then it's yeah. No,
I didn't know that about the melanin and the gold, bro. That's crazy. So a gram of melanin is worth 900 times more than a gram of gold.
Yep.
Uh-oh, you're gonna have to start talking about Bilderbergers and stuff, bro. Yeah.
Listen, I don't care if it's a Bilderberg, a small hat, a Southern Confederate. It all boils down to white supremacy.
Yeah.
I don't care what you call it. I don't have time to discriminate what you personally do and what your religion is and all that BS. Nope, white supremacy. That's what it is to me. That needs to be replaced with a system of justice. And it's just, it's kind of funny now that, you know, we're dealing with this whole abortion thing. And
you gonna talk about Roe v. Wade? Oh man, you crazy.
Hey, man, listen, I just, the people, and I get it, bodily autonomy. Yeah, that portion I do get. But at the point when our society is, we're gung-ho about destroying babies before they even have a chance, and we're like, we should have the right to do that, and it's so passionate. And so I'm just kind of observing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying anything. I'm just kind of looking at it like, okay, all right, cool. That's how you really feel? Interesting. Okay. Now I know how to, you know, I know how to navigate through that. Yeah. Right. So, you know, it's just interesting to circumvent that, to superimpose that over, you know, the gun laws, right? The New York situation. Like, Supreme Court was like, oh yeah, we smashed that, homie. And then the governor of New York was like, nah, that ain't how it goes down in New York.
Wait. So in New York, now they now say you gotta take tests, training, submit your social media to be reviewed, like all sorts of stuff, like all these things.
You need to know the people in your house, bro.
Then you know who's in your house. You gotta have character witnesses. Like, you gotta go through more vetting than to become the mayor of New York.
Yo, nigga, just move. Y'all need to do a mass exodus from New York.
Everybody, get out. Escape from New York is now.
Everybody move to Montana. There's plenty of room.
Escape from anybody. I like how you said Montana, bro. Well, you got people in Montana.
They're gonna be like, hey, don't be sending them over here. No,
send them over there, man. It's very interesting. Cool. One thing that's interesting to me about the Roe v. Wade thing is how people can feverishly support body autonomy in that instance, but not when it comes to the vaccination stuff. Like, it's like the whole thing, like, it all speaks of hypocrisy for me, you know?
Right.
The government should mandate this, or the government can't mandate this.
Well, and the other thing is what I noticed, monitoring social media.
Oh yeah. The cesspool that it is. Meanwhile, these are two guys talking about what women should be doing, but then we're talking about, but women talk about what men should do with their bodies. That, get a vasectomy.
I mean,
they are reversible, Anubis. Get a vasectomy, bro. What are you doing?
Well, trust me, I gave my wife an option. I said, hey, listen, you need to pop out another one because I'm about to be 43. Right? I'll give you a choice. I'm gonna either put one in you.
Why you sound like a mobster? You doing the easy way, you doing the hard way, huh?
Yeah, it's the deal. Here's your options. You get A or you get B. I get the snip, or you get the baby in the belly, right? So I'm like, yo, which one you want? Like, you don't tell me what you want to do, I'm gonna make it for you, right? And I'm gonna go for the snip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't do that without my what? Man,
it's interesting, man. I always support. I take it back to allow people to live responsibly, but meaning they take the responsibilities for everything that happens with them. And most people don't want that, bro. They want that I'm coddled and safe belief, but it is certainly not a reality. And the thing is, government is going to tell you all sorts of nice stuff while they still fucking you. It's just what they do.
And here's the problem, bro. People don't know who the hell Margaret Sanger was.
Yep.
They don't know
Did you know that the Nazis came to America to learn about eugenics?
From the Americans.
It wasn't like there's a secret like Nazi cell teaching it. No, Americans had that on lock. It's like, oh, you want to destroy races, ask the natives that were here and brainwash and
the Nazi playbook came from the US, homie.
It did.
It's a fact.
Well, the same thing too. That's what I'm saying. People are supporting these organizations going from the current moniker and iteration they put out.
Right.
But you don't know, like, if you look at who's really there in the history, it's the same organization. They might change how they present it. That's the same thing with white supremacy. They might change how they present it, but the same thing's happening. So like all these people have holidays, they have, you know, LGBTQ rainbows on their stuff, but at the same time, they're not giving up any real significant power. It's just that simple.
Right.
You're not getting any lasting change on so many fronts.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of holidays anyway.
Yeah.
I
cried when Juneteenth got codified. I was like, oh, they're gonna take it away from us. It's gonna lose its potency, bro.
Well, that's the thing.
We're gonna lose the coochie chocolate of it, bro. We ain't gonna be able to determine what we're gonna do for it, bro.
I mean, Juneteenth, the holiday itself is a nothing burger with a side of wind sauce and air pudding.
Yeah,
right. It's nothing.
It was a big thing down south because, like, when I was in the Southwest, we did stuff for Juneteenth, so I liked it. It wasn't a thing that was like everyone did nationally.
No, Juneteenth was huge before y'all decided to give everybody the damn day off.
Yeah.
Everybody get the day off? Really?
Everybody.
Come on, man.
How about just give us double pay for that day?
Yeah. If I gotta work, I need to be paid time off, and I need to get double time and a half for being there.
Yep.
Right.
Or just give me a paid day off. Like, come on, bro. Also, I mean, the whole thing with reparations, we going all over, please. We going all over, bro. See?
Hey, bro, it's the conversation. Let's go.
Oh man. So, are you aware? So you know they've done plenty of studies for the Holocaust for the Jewish people and how it had affected and augmented their DNA. So, do you remember how long the Jewish Holocaust lasted?
What was it? 6 years?
Yeah. So, you might have some numbers to say it's really, they say from 41 to 45. Some people make it longer than that. Let's bump it up to a decade.
Yeah. All right.
And, let's bump it up. Now, you have, the Ma'afa, you got the diaspora, you got chattel slavery, you got diaspora. How many years is that? I think it was I think it's like 400 minimum. So how do you think that plays?
I'll even say 3.
You gonna knock 300. You must be a Trump supporter or something. All right, 300. 300 years. So that goes into people's DNA. So where are the supports and studies for the Black people who have survived the diaspora and the Ma'afa and the chattel slavery, all that? Nowhere.
Well, HR 40, they're trying to pass HR 40. Your boy Clyburn in South Carolina, who was running for his seat, and Marcel Dixon was running against him. Well, some people who ran up on him at one of his fish fries and was like, yo, like, what's up with reparations?
Wait. All right, first of all, I need you to run that back. Say that statement back over again.
Well, Clyburn has fish fries, right? Because, niggas like to eat, right?
Hey, Clyburn has fish fries and he's in charge of what? What was he trying to push through with HR 40? The commission to develop reparations?
He just does that to keep his congressional seat, because as long as people is fed, they'll go along like lemmings, right? So you have some people who were, they were with Marcel Dixon, and they were like, yo, Clyburn, what's up with reparations? And he's on video saying, why the fuck y'all keep fucking with me about this reparations things? I've been doing the thing for 40 years. I'm like, damn, 40 years?
40 years. Did you see how fast they passed the Asian hate crime bill? It's like 2 weeks, bro.
Bro, listen, it wasn't bipartisan anything. It didn't need a vote.
2 weeks.
It didn't need none of that.
2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks.
And not only that, brothers and sisters,
2 weeks.
Right? Look at how much money they're expending in Ukraine right now in that conflict.
Oh, the $40 billion drop. That was one. That was one of many drops, bro.
One of many. Billion? Well, hold on. They're trying to disarm us, but they arming them with straight automatics.
Well, you wait. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna try to look up how many weapons the Ukraine gave out. So for one, people talk about what to do about mass shooters and stuff like that. Anybody that doesn't see mass shooters as a mental issue has problems. You got the World Trade bombing. Timothy McVeigh. How many people died there? He didn't use one gun. It's like 400 people died, something like that. Something crazy. Which was conveniently where some of the Clinton files are located. Clinton files. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you have all sorts of stuff. You have the Sioux massacre, Wounded Knee. They disarmed the Sioux and then murdered women and children. Vast majority of them, that was like 300 people. There's all sorts of ways people are going to kill. They want to kill. You have people in China. There's a dude in China who stabbed like 30 plus people on a train, bro. I said, what kind of conditioning does his hand have to like my man's like, I gotta use my right hand now. Wait, I gotta use my left. 30 people, bro.
Was he a master in the Filipino art of?
No, he wasn't a Kali Eskimo master, bro. No, he's just an angry Chinese dude, yo. He got people in the train and just start going to work, bro. 30 people. So people who want to do this is the issue, because no one in their right mind wants to go hurt some children. Why would you want to hurt children? Why would you want to shoot up a parade? Exactly. That's not normal, but no one's addressing it. Also, a lot of times,
with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude killing people with bow and arrows. Yeah.
Yo, a British citizen or an immigrant will stab your ass up, homie.
Yeah.
There's more stabbings that happen in Great Britain than anywhere else on the planet.
Yep. And people keep pointing to it, how that's a success that they don't have firearms anymore. I saw a trend. I don't have the exact numbers for this right now because this was not the topic of the day, but after all, I got a problem. But they said there was a trend where after they disarmed the people in Great Britain, like meaning they outlawed, private firearms and stuff like that, home invasions went up exponentially. And usually with home invasions, people were doing it like when people weren't there. They waited to make sure people were there so they can at least make sure they were getting wallets and stuff like that. I think that's a lot more dangerous than, so Ukraine gave out 18,000 rifles in one day. You also had a thing where Taiwan's been trying to train their citizens to get ready for potential conflict with mainland.
China's going in, bro.
Oh,
China's going in. They're going in.
China is going full tilt, bro. China don't give no fucks. So
the ruble is up right now because the Chinese, Russian, Eurasian coalition thing.
Yeah. Yo, China, they're not afraid of anything, man. I'm trying to think of a funny way of saying Chinese, but Chinese doesn't have a lot of puns and shit. But anyway, but yo, bro, so now they're trying to train the people like in Ukraine. This is why you have a Second Amendment. So instead of people having to learn in a weekend course of how to protect themselves and their family, they could be doing this regularly, training and practicing in case something happens. Ukraine gave out 18,000 assault rifles in one single day trying to get prepared. They got over $40 billion in aid from the US, not to count the total aid they got from other countries. So they're trying to take farmers, DJs, teachers, and turn them into combatants against a Russian war machine. That's a bad time to learn. Did you hear about the woman who shot the dude who was trying to do a mass shooting in West Virginia? So this dude was driving around, by all reports. I wasn't there, so I'm just reporting on what well, hold on, I'm gonna pull up the article actually. This dude was being a D-bag. He's driving around being real aggressive around an event that has small children. So as any reasonable group would say this, hey man, can you stop driving like a D-bag? So he got offended. He left, came back with an AR. Let me share it on screen so people can see. So this is Charleston Police Department Chief of Detectives. All right. So no charge will be filed against a woman who said was understandably shaken by the ordeal. So the dude who came back, Butler, had an extensive criminal history, which means he was what? A prohibited possessor, which means that the law did not stop him from getting it. Right. So you change all these laws to stop people from getting them legally. This would not have stopped them in any capacity. All right. So this dude shows up and was shooting at dozens of people, and she aired him out. So she wasn't a former Green Beret. She wasn't no formal spec ops. She wasn't in Spetsnaz. She wasn't in any military capacity, wasn't in any law enforcement capacity. She said instead of running from the threat, she engaged. So several lives were saved last night. So one woman, all right? So she didn't wait for other police to show up. She didn't look for help. She reached into her arsenal, whatever, and produced a firearm. A lot of times people argue too that, oh, well, someone has an AR, there's no chance you with a pistol, you can do anything. There's no monopoly on violence. If you use force and you are able to affect greater damage, they're no longer a threat. It's that simple. It's just that simple,
bro. And here's the thing with the
and they don't put this stuff on regular news media. I didn't see this anywhere. Fox News, CNN, ABC, none of that. West Virginia woman saves lives. This is the same weekend of Ulvade. It was within days of Ulvade.
Yep. And here's the other part to that, bro, is first of all, I don't consider myself a liberal. I don't consider myself conservative. I don't consider myself libertarian. None of those labels.
They like labels, bro.
They love labels, but I'm gonna tell you, you can't label me. I'm unlabelable, right? So you have these liberals who are like, oh, you don't need an AR-15, and you don't need, and then what one lady said was that, oh, these people who have concealed carry permits, they overestimate their abilities.
Oh yeah, from that article. So one thing I noticed, Anubis, as soon as she said that, I said she's in a victim mentality mindset. If you see yourself as a person having things done to them instead of being the person and act, because you have people, there's two types of people. There's active, middle finger. There's active people who are going around and they're acting, it's in the word, and you have passive people who are observing and letting things happen to them.
Yep.
You can see it. So the difference, let's say a real straightforward example. Let's say someone's being assaulted, right? You'll have someone who will walk away or call the police when they're in safety. And you also have somebody who say, hey, stop brutalizing that person. Those are two distinct different people.
Yep.
Now, not everybody's going to be able to do the latter where you're going to be the person to get yourself in there. I've done that. It's not a bravado thing where I think I'm tough or I'm thinking I'm Superman. I do it out of empathy for humanity. I know if someone's got a knife through my throat and I'm in a bad situation, I hope my eyes looking around, somebody will be like, yo, that dude might need some help. I hope. And absolutely. That's why I act. It's out of empathy and humanity. I don't act because I'm trying to prove something. Act because if I was in a bad situation, I would hope somebody would help me too.
Nobody wakes up hoping to be a hero.
No, bro. No.
Wake up, as much as you and I probably train, we don't wake up talking about today we're going to hopefully save a life and be in the news and be regarded as a hero. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, after I started carrying, personally, not when I worked as a cop, but after that, when I stopped working as a cop, I became 1,000 times more meek and observant to try to mitigate any possibility for me having to use force. I've had people hit me and I'm like, oh, you got it, bro. You right, go ahead. But real, I'm like, yo, that dude hits like a bitch. But anyway, I made sure to preclude every possibility of me having to use a firearm because I would never want to be put in that situation where I had to take a life.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing. Like, there's I've been doing martial arts since I was 14, different styles and different forms and all that kind of stuff, right? By any means, that doesn't mean I'm like, can fend off 3 guys at once. And like, nah, bro.
You know, like, the five finger death punch?
Yeah, the Wuxi pinky finger hold or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? No, I never want to be in that situation. But because I'm so self-preserved, self-defense minded, I train for that person that will pummel me, right? Because there's always going to be somebody out there that's able to subdue you.
Yeah.
Just go. Hopefully, I don't run into that dude. I don't ever want to meet him.
You're gonna be like the police chief. He's in one wing, the shooter's in another wing.
No, but what I'm saying is, I train because I hope that I never have to do it or be involved or, I've been in fist fights and stuff like that. And until I started studying, or practicing Balintawak, 9 chances out of 10, a lot of that stuff I learned really didn't come out because it's all cognitive.
Yeah.
Right. But once you start getting into the non-cognitive stuff and you train on that and it's random, now you're dealing with something.
Now you gotta flesh out what you mean by cognitive and non-cognitive.
Yeah. So cognitive,
people who are familiar,
Yeah. So in the martial arts world, or training for anything, even in firearms, the dynamics of how to throw a punch, the dynamics of how to throw a kick and a block and a parry and all that stuff. That stuff is cognitive, right? Because you're trying to teach yourself, or someone is trying to teach you how to perform a specified movement. Now it gets into the repetitive thing where, as a repetitive motion, now you're building muscle memory, right? But the problem is, now when you're dealing with the environment and you're dealing with something that's random and you're trying to pull up those cognitive movements, that doesn't work on the street. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So non-cognitive means when you're dealing with a threat, right? You don't have time to pull up a kata, or when you were sparring at the dojo, because that's completely different. The environment is completely different, right?
So you're talking about a trained reaction, or making something second nature versus thinking about what I have to do at this point.
Yes.
Another important thing that
Yep.
people don't realize often is that reaction is always slower than action. So if someone sees you as a mark and they decide they're going to, all right, as soon as he turns around, I'm going to hit him or put this bag over his head.
Yep.
You try to be like, oh wait, I gotta get this bag off. You're already on a back foot. You already
Nope.
the bastard. So you have to be aware of it before. you gotta be aware of that.
That happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bag over the head?
No, he bagged himself. 2nd degree black belt. We was in high school and substitute teacher, so it was wild as shit. Right? A fight ensues, and my homeboy was like, I was like, oh shit, my boy about to get in that ass, right? So this fool had a pullover on. At the time, those pullovers were really popular. So this fool was like, man, he put his pullover, dude just started. I said, oh shit, oh, stop hitting. Right?
Oh man.
I literally had to break up the fight, bro, because
to your friend's defense, he thought they was going to like exchange names and like school styles and stuff like that. And the dude's like, I got these hands, bro.
That street shit, bro. That's what, even when you're practicing traditional martial arts for the art or the physicality of it. My thing is, throughout my whole time training, I would always go to different schools and be like, yo, can I spar with y'all real quick? How much is the mat fee? $15? Okay, boom, got that. And I would just get it in with whoever, right? And what that does is that says, hey, yeah, we were practicing this particular technique. I tried it and it wasn't something that I could use in that moment, right? So dudes that are like hood street fighters, cats like Light Burley and, who have martial skills, but are also street, them dudes are nightmares, man.
Yeah.
Because they have so many scenarios and fights and situations under their belt. And then you got the street environment where they're like, oh, you thought I was going to punch you? Nah, bam, there's a bottle. Bam, there's a trash can top. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to fight with honor and no, we're going to fight like gentlemen.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Bro.
What's that old adage? If you fighting fair, you're not fighting to win. And every fight in the street is for your life. You can't risk it. I used to go on this website, Live Leak. You ever go in there?
No.
Live Leak has a lot of real CCTV footage of stuff. And you'll see stuff in Brazil and different areas where, especially Brazil and South America, which is, Brazil is there, and also Mexico.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens in Brazil and then Eastern Europe, and you'll see people like winning the fight, showing off, and then like enjoying the fight, and then all of a sudden somebody produces a knife out of nowhere, and it's like, oh wait, I'm dead now. Or like they're beating up somebody, showing off, having fun, doing ground and pound, showing all the techniques, and then one of their friends come from blindside them, and then the dude's on the ground dead. Like, you got to realize, like, you're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to be fancy. You're just trying to get it finished as fast as you can, however efficiently you can, and keep it moving, man. Because, ego, that's always true, bro. Well, who's it by?
This is by Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday. Ego's always, man. Yeah, man. Ego, man. That's crazy.
The fact that you can get punched by a dude and be like, all right, dude, you know what? You got it. I'm not even tripping with you right now.
Because
okay.
I was like, if that's your best punch, like, there's really no reason for me to fight you because I would like murder you, bro. It's crazy. So every now and then, like once a year, I try to do like a full contact fight to see, make sure I still got it and stuff like that. So I went to a full contact fight back in June, cold turkey, and I was trying to remember the rules as I went into it because I had a different fighting rule set. So I was so involved. This is going back to action is faster than reaction. I was so involved trying to make sure I remember the rules and sort of how to strike, what we couldn't do, that I was like getting outpaced and lit up some. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I was just like, at the end of it, I was just like, F all this. I don't remember all the rules. I don't want to DQ or hurt somebody. So I just started playing distance with him. So when he tried to do stuff, I would just jump in and jam him and then like tie him up. But I was like, we can't throw. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, so it was interesting. But it made me remember that, you know, a tool unused is worthless because I was like, I gotta get back to training hard and banging and stuff. Yeah, bro. And then 2, stop thinking, because I was thinking, and like my mentor was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, thinking. He's like, "What do you can't fight when you thinking, nigga." He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "You know how to punch and kick, just kick up, punch, nigga." I was like, but like, because one, I wasn't in any real danger. Like, granted, you know, he's a 200-pound man trying to take my head off, but I didn't get hurt. And I had no real reason to hurt him. I was like overthinking like how to do this properly. And while I was thinking, I didn't do anything. So I was just like, that's not good. I was like, I looked at it afterwards. I was looking at the fight footage. Like, yeah, that's not good. I know why. I was thinking. You don't think in a fight. And that's the whole thing. Like, you have to train responses so that when something happens, you know what to do. You also have to train. So one of the important things I tell people, you have to consider in your personal protection world, you will do this at this point. So let's say, for example, you're out in Anubis with your family and someone aggresses upon you, just spatially. They're coming in, they're beelining straight towards you. You know that, all right, I'm going to blade myself to protect my family and address it directly. You're not going to be like, what are you doing, sir? And he's already, Like, I noticed that this was an atypical movement. I know there's a potential for danger. This is what I do to avert the danger. And a lot of people, especially people not used to violence, they don't know these things to consider. So like in Philly, there's a big thing where a lot of people will be hanging around gas stations, pumps, especially pumps and around doors. So what I do is I'll circle around and try to find where there are no people around the pump because I'm trying to pump my gas. If there's a person, I'll get out and address the person directly. Yo, my man, is there anything I can help you with? Because usually they'll ask like, oh, I want to pump so I can get some money, or do you got some change? It's usually the latter. They just trying to get bump some money off you. Right, but I will address them directly so that I already have an instant feedback on what is their intent. So if they don't respond and they start walking towards me, oh, he's not here to talk. Right. Oh, we're not talking. That means so if you need something, be like, all right, well, I'm gonna pump my gas. You stay over there. When I'm done, I'll hand you some change or something, you know. But I don't want you running up on me. All right, cool. And a lot of people don't think about that stuff. Well, I mean, about different things.
Yeah, I mean, I try to impart that onto my students, man. Like, y'all got to be able to see it coming. Yep. And if you're wrong,
there's always pre-violence indicators. You just have to be aware of what they are. When they say, "Oh, it came out of nowhere," I don't know. There's always something. It's just you're not paying attention.
Bro, I had a student who hesitated to come train with us because she was scared of guns. I'm like, okay, the gun is the tool, right? But this is the weapon right here. She said that what made her come,
your mind is the weapon,
train with us, was because she was in her car and she didn't see this dude try to open up her door.
Wow, that's crazy.
She tried to start the car, but because adrenaline diminishes your fine motor skills. Yeah. And she panicked, so she was trying to put her car into gear and it was in neutral and she didn't understand. All she heard was the car wasn't going nowhere. And so the dude kind of finally just walked off. But I was like, yo, had your fucking doors not been locked?
She's also fortunate the dude just decided to walk off because she was literally a sitting duck.
Bro, I said, yo, you went from condition white to red instantly.
But since she didn't have the emotional fitness of training in condition red or condition yellow, she was ineffective in condition red. A lot of people, when they go to red, they shut down. meaning they don't think anymore because they can't think. They're trying to process what's happening, but they're overwhelmed with stimuli. They don't move because they're still trying to process, and things just happen to them. And meanwhile, the aggressor already has decided what they're going to do.
And you're getting punched, stabbed, choked, thrown into the back of a van and traffic.
So it's very, that's amazing, man. There's this book called no, it's not. Where am I? I'm forgetting my stories. There's a really good book called When Violence is the Answer by Tim Larkin. There's a story I heard about. Who told me this story? There's a lot of anecdotes and hyperboles you can find, but basically one of the important things I show people when they're doing their training, and I do consultations with them, is that even if you don't know exactly what to train for specifically, because you can't train for every scenario, but if you consider possibilities, at least you have, like, when you're going through your Rolodex, this might fit here, you know, I can maybe try this. And that's better than trying nothing, you know. Like if someone's trying to stab you, like, all right, I want to make sure they can't stab my main trunk of my body. I want to try to protect my arteries. So you do that. So it's better get cut on the outside, get your hands cut and stuff at, than getting your wrists and stuff slashed open, getting stabbed in the aorta or stuff like that. So granted, that's not a winning strategy, but that could very well save your life, you know. Also, you know, just different things, like in terms of watching people's body language. That's a very big telltale sign. People acting atypical. You know, I'm not telling you anything, but these are things that people have to consider, and people don't know these things because you don't know what you don't know. And you have to go to someone that knows this stuff so they can share their time and experience and expertise and accelerate you so you don't have to live through this stuff. I've seen people get knocked out because they weren't paying attention. I've seen people get all sorts of things happen because they were talking to someone when it was no longer time for talking. So if we're this close, we're not talking no more like this, bro. We're not
21 plus feet, homie. Like,
the
I'm like, yo,
right? The
you walking up on me, I might just do you in right there because I don't know what you're trying to do, and I'm not about to get sucker punched.
Now, conversely, people say, "Oh, they're 20 feet away. Why would you shoot them?" Well, let me tell you.
You in 1.5 seconds if they
what's your draw time, baby? What's your draw time? But yeah, the fire motor skill is something, man. And then, like, the thing is too, when you pressure test stuff, you get used to working in stress, and there's no substitute for that.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways to do that, but you have to feel what it's like to work against a non-cooperative individual. You have to feel what it feels like.
Bro, I gotta have you come out to the ranch, bro.
I see that, man. So you let me know, bro. I'll be happy. You let me know what type of course you want to do. We can coordinate, collaborate, do a whatever, man.
That's what I'm talking
about. All that stuff. I'm with it, bro. All right. So how did you get into doing personal protection stuff?
Man,
it's a different path for everybody. So for myself, I was very anti-gun growing up in Philly. Only people that had guns were criminals and cops. Sometimes they were the same. And I was like, I'm a righteous young man. Like, you know, I got these two, like, pops from, you know, Friday. And that did well for me because, like, back in the day, people be like, yo, I used to go by a nickname. They used to be like, yo, Drew. I ain't go by Adrian because Adrian's a little effeminate, and I kept back in the day, being effeminate, people used to come at you all the time. So I got tired of that stuff. I went by Drew for a while. That's my own insecurity. So anyway, they were like, yo, I heard you could rumble. You want, like, let's square up. And people would just square up with you to fight, so you can scrap. And that was an honorable thing. It wasn't like, oh, you be walking somewhere, it's like, that's Drew, let's hit him in the back of his head. It was different growing up in the 90s. So conversely with that, I went through a lot of different things and I learned stuff. And then when I became a cop, I saw that it wasn't about if you're a bad person doing bad things. I saw it wasn't about if you're in a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood. And seeing what happened to people who were visited by violence and they weren't prepared for it. Some of them didn't survive. Some of them were never the same physically, mentally, financially. So after that, I was just like, yo, I got kids. I'm not worried about scrapping with nobody anymore. I'm gonna get the sleep out of my eye, trying to figure out what that noise is, and get in the karate stance. Like, F all that. Like, you gonna try to fight me? You gonna fight for your life, baby? Go ahead.
Yeah, hold that thought. All right, real quick.
No problem, bro. We're going to temporary pause. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna get a beverage. A beverage. Sparkling grapefruit. Salsa water. Allows you to enjoy some of the fizz and bubbly without the calories. Gotta watch your caloric intake. A lot of people don't realize you take in a lot of calories through your beverages. I apologize. If you need to go at any time, let me know. We can wrap it.
Nah, I'm good. I've just been drinking chlorophyll water.
That's cool, bro. That's cool.
Yeah. So
yo, that's
yeah.
crazy.
So quick story, man. Doing the one of the 2 survival trainings that I did with the Kill Bay.
Where were they at?
They were both in Colorado. One was in the summer, one was in the middle of winter.
All right, cool. I have to do a winter one with them, and I have to do a summer one with them.
Yeah.
I did a fall one in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, you gully like me. 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like gotta do it twice.
Yeah, we were supposed to do one in Baltimore, and he canceled it. He said he was having some logistical issues with it.
Okay. I get it. But this one,
which one was harder?
The winter one was a little bit harder. Yeah.
Core temperature and all that stuff.
Well, the temperature wasn't bad until it got to nighttime, and then on one day it started like snowing like really bad. You know what I mean? So it was just wet and cold, and it was crazy. So, but the day before that, you know, we had been navigating, we had been doing all kind of crazy
that
stuff.
land nav is a bitch, ain't it?
Oh my God, I hate a land
nav. Land nav almost got me out of there, bro. I was almost just like, no. I was giving myself pep talks. I was like, no, bro. I was like, no, we ain't come all this way. I spent all this money. I ain't gonna wait for my kids to come here and fail. I ain't failing this shit.
Yeah. So
was getting me, bro.
Light Fighter 365, baby.
There you go, bro.
Part of the Light Fighter crew. But anyway, so there was this brother, and he was a big brother, and I could tell, I'm not gonna say he was soft, but I could tell like he was there to kind of test his mettle, right? So Akil brought out the fighting gear. Yeah, dog, like, yo, homie, he went up against his brother from New York, and the other brother, I can't remember where he was from, but he was huge, man. He was like 6'7", 300 pounds, like he was a big dude. Brother from New York, boom, 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 was uppercutting and just throwing them hands. The brother had no answers, none. He caught one of these and he just covered up, laid on the ground. The kid was yelling. I'm like, get up, get up. Somebody coming to save you. Get up.
That's rough.
Keep hitting him. Don't hit him. Don't kill him, but let him know he's still there. Tap them ribs, right? And we were just like, oh shit. We're out here, dog. We're at a caloric deficit. We're sleep deprived, like the whole 9 yards, bro. And then so at the end of it,
that's usually when your beasts come out because you ain't got the niceties left in you,
bro. Like
it gets primal.
I went primal, dude.
Yeah, because you ain't got no fucks left to give. He's like, fuck this.
And when I ran out of gas, and this is when I started getting fucked up. I was like, oh shit, I'm catching. What is this going on? Like, yeah, right. And you get your second win, and you're like, that's enough, motherfucker, right? Right. So, but at the end of the course, the brother that got served up, he thanked the other brother. He was like, because I'd never been punched in the face before. Thank you for that.
But there's no substitute for that, bro. There's no substitute for that.
Like, look, dude, I'm 6'7", 300 something pounds. I usually intimidate people by my size, but I'm about to learn some martial arts. I'm about to do whatever, because that shit.
I used to always tell people, I'd much rather fight a smaller person than a big person. Or no, I'd much rather fight a bigger person than a small person. I don't like you center of gravity be all low, especially like a short, stocky motherfucker. Like, you little pit bull, rock, claymation, golem motherfucker. Like, yo.
I get up with me and body slam my ass.
I know, get on the nape of my neck. I can't get him off. Like, get him off me. Get him off. Not like those little arms connect. the little arms connect is over, bro. You get
Yeah,
all
yeah,
yeah.
Not real shit, but
There's-
yeah,
there's
that
no
was an
substitute for
incredible. I was like, damn.
there's no substitute for getting hit in your face, bro. There's not.
Well, it happened to me when I was about first grade, right?
It must've been hard in the crayon box, man. Something, man.
And it was I was at lunch. This little dude jumped in front of me in line, and I said, "Hey, man, you can't butt in front of me." And he turned around, and was like, "What?" Folded me right there. I was like,
we go silent for a while. He goes silent. He put you on mute. He put you on mute.
right?
Oh man, that's
I'm hollering for the teacher.
But the thing is too, like you'll see like the people when they get pressure tests. So like for me, like since I don't like hurting people, I have to either be protecting someone or you have to give me a reason to hurt you bad most times.
Yeah.
Because I'll just let it pass because I don't like hurt. Like I know what it feels like to be hurt. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I used to do martial arts, like more formally, like I used to have like a club and teach people and stuff like that. One of the things they used to do is pressure test people because you learn how to punch and kick is cool, but if that happens on the street, you have to know how to take a punch and take a kick and keep going. And you know, and I remember I had this guy in the ROTC, and he's ROTC, if you want to become an officer, and he just folded like every time we did sparring. I just like, bro, you're gonna be in the military. Like, I imagine you should know how to like persevere through and
you gotta nut up, homie.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. It was bad. So I talked to whoever was in ROTC with him, and I was like, y'all might want to consider what y'all do with this fella, because if he's leading people and stuff and he's a guy that folds, that's not good.
Yeah, you're gonna get motherfuckers work.
Yeah, because some people have it, some people don't. It's just that same thing too. Remember we were talking about like active and passive people. Like, I mean, ain't nothing against it, but I remember I was talking to one of my good friends, and we were having a conversation about firearms in the home and like personal protection and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, why would you have a gun? Killing people." I said, "It is a tool that does kill people, but I can use many tools. I use my hand, I can use a spoon, I use this chair, I use that wall over there. Are you gonna outlaw assault walls? If I smash your head into the wall and it breaks, like it's not. I know we gotta outlaw these walls. You got brick walls everywhere. I'm scared. Like no. So I said it's a tool that helps me be more efficient if I need to do something. You know, like I can fight people. But if there's like 3, 4, 5, whatever, I'm not trying to fight all those people. All it takes is one person. Proximity negates skills. I can do all sorts of fancies. All one person got to do is catch me. We all got the same snooze button. We also got the same, you know. So I was like, yeah. So that's why I have a firearm, because once I had more at risk, namely my children and other stuff, I thought I can't risk to be behind on the power threshold. Yeah. And he's just like, well, if someone breaks in my house, I'll fight him. I was like, but you don't know how to fight. And he's just like, well, I won't give up. And I was like, so as you're dying, what is your next line of defense? And I said, what about your child? And he's just like, well, I'll just do my best. So I was like, you going to say, fuck your kid, bro? I was like, yeah, that's great.
What is that?
Bro, he said he just do his best. I was like, wow. He's like, you still not going to kill whoever's trying to kill you with a gun, huh? Nope. Yeah. That was acceptable to him, bro. I was like, that can't be acceptable to me. I can't be carrying the groceries and someone hit me and the eggs fall. I'll be like, you're up, kid. Ugh. Like I can't. I can't do that, bro.
My mentality is, you know, I'm a little bit different as far as hurting people. Like I don't go looking for, you know, reasons to put hands on people and all that kind of stuff. But I'm of the mentality that because I'm pretty cool, calm, and collected, I'll let a lot of shit slide. But if you bring me to that level where I'm physically having to defend myself, I'm fucking you up. and you know, it's that thing where this individual really thought that they could impose their will upon me.
So that's a very good point you're going to. One of the things I used to teach people is like, if someone's attacking you, you have to, for me, I become indignant. Like, who are you to think that you have the right or ability, the chutzpah, as some of my, you know, Hasidic Jew friends might say, to attack me? Like, where the hell do you get off doing that? And you have to become indignant in that point that this person dare try to impose on you. And that's your purpose. Like, same thing about hurting my children. Like, how dare you think you do that? How, like, and then at that point, you use that to focus your will. Like I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So I mean, I I was telling somebody the other day, there's like, I'm not violent. Violence is terrible. I was like, look, the universe is violent. Earthquake doesn't just, just do a little wiggle.
Yeah.
The earthquake is like, a volcano explodes.
You want to see
right?
something that's violent? Look at some African wild dogs hunt.
Right. That's life. That's survival. That's where we live. Now we are, we're sentient. We have free will. We have the mind and the ability to intelligently disengage or de-escalate. And we're not just out here, well, most of us, we're not just out here like brutes and attacking people and just pillaging and all that kind of shit, right? We're not barbarians, right? But
most of us
can resort back to that barbarian shit.
Well, we saw that during the pandemic, man.
Bro, 3 meals.
Bro,
3 days. 3 days and 9 meals from chaos.
Who said that? I heard that somewhere, yo.
Let the power be out for 4 days.
That's a quote. I heard that quote somewhere. They said 3 days from
we are 9 meals from total fucking humans resorting back to
the thing when they, we always hark back to it, but like during the pandemic, cops are saying, and some police districts now are citing the cost of gas as being too expensive to come out for every call.
Yeah. I'm like, what? So what happens if the resources get too scarce and the government's like, hey guys, we got to do an emergency executive order. All gasoline, diesel, and petroleum now has to be converted
to our government.
To a government use only.
Yo, if they do that, it'll be on and popping, bro.
Oh shit! So basically, you just declare martial law, and at that point,
on and popping, bro. Only government use. Only government use, bro.
And I imagine that you might have some prepper genes within your DNA, right?
That's another conversation for off of the air, bro.
Right, I understand, but what I'm saying is you're the type of person to foresee and be prepared for the unforeseen. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you do.
Yeah.
Right? Now there's people who walk around like the guy you was talking about, like, oh, I'll just fight them the best way I can. Like, those are the motherfuckers that are gonna come knocking on your door like, hey.
How many people asked you during the pandemic if they could borrow a gun? Or they could come to your place? I was like,
Nigga. My wife hears that shit all the time. Man, if the shit hit the fan, we going to Anubis's house. My wife be like, oh, you think so, huh? You think we gonna be there?
Yeah.
We been telling y'all this shit was coming.
Yo, people are goofy. So if Pornhub and DoorDash wasn't available during the pandemic, it would have been a complete bloodletting and changing of the tides, bro. If people weren't able to beat their meat and get meat delivered to their house, they would have, because you think about it, shit was going off pretty much. That's when they start giving people money. Is all right, take some of this money. Yeah. We're gonna make sure nobody can get evicted. Because if people were getting evicted and they didn't have money, all would have been curtains, yo. All that red, white, and blue were all on the same page. All that Democrat, Republican, all that shit would have been out the window, bro. All that, I identify as, all that would have been out the window, bro. People would identify as eating your shit or right now.
Yes, and that's the thing. That's what I try to tell my students. Like, yo, like people band together to survive in those moments. You're not dealing with
America's
just one.
Very tribalistic, but that's human nature in general, yo.
Right. So, I mean, you look at Africa, right? There's one particular reason as to why, a small group of different white countries were able to go into Africa and divide it up. That's because they had a code. They were on code. Yeah. And the code was, yo, we coming to take your shit.
That happened after the Dark Ages in Europe. It's just like, all right, let's stop killing each other. There's resources elsewhere. Where are these resources at?
Well, Mansa Musa was walking around just throwing the shit in the streets, and they was like,
that's Mansa Musa's fault. We might have to talk to that brother. He might have incited some of this. That's like, that nigga got what? We going to Africa. Huh? How many horses? What?
Yeah.
Yo, look at that. How many wives? They say, yo, we going over there, bro.
Yeah. So they got on code, and because of tribalism, say, you know, fuck being a Crip, fuck being a Blood, fuck being a Hutu and a Tutsi and all that shit. We got a threat that's coming. We can deal with that tribal shit later.
Yeah.
Let's deal with homeboy, right? But that wasn't the mentality, and that's still not the mentality.
Yeah, it's crazy, the tribalism, man. That's definitely something to be addressed. I mean, besides Pan-Africanism, I don't see any way to address it. And people with Pan-Africanism think of like Hoteps and stuff like that. When there's a much more central ideology with Garveyism and stuff like that, you know, it's just that we all come from a common shared experience and a common heritage. And you can always find divergence, but find the commonalities. And in the commonalities, you have strength. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and the problem is the tribalism, and when our brothers and sisters from the diaspora come here, they see us as a separate tribe in some instances. Now, that's not to say individually, right, we can't be like, you know, clicked up and all that kind of stuff, but collectively, a lot of times we're seen to be stayed away from, or we're seen as, hey, like when you go over there, you're there to go to school and, you know, get as much money as you can. Don't be messing around with them, you know, Black Americans, right? And it's just kind of like, really? And I've even heard people who are like second and third generation immigrants from the diaspora say, yeah, my parents told me straight up, don't fuck with y'all. And I'm like, wow, interesting.
Is that a legacy of white supremacy, or is it a legacy of something else?
Well,
tribalism. Who is it? I don't know.
Well, I think it's a symptom of white supremacy, because, you know, in certain parts of Africa, you know, you'll see them holding up the Caucasian man as the savior, right?
That was one thing that surprised me talking to some of my friends from West Africa. I knew more West African history than them in West Africa, and I was like, "How is this possible when you're in Ghana?" We're
the ones that hold up Pan-Africanism. They don't.
That's what it was. Is because they were going to British schools, and they were learning in a European educational system, which wholly categorically said there were no accomplishments of Africans. And this is when they're in the midst of all this stuff. Like, it's crazy, and that's in like the early 2000s, when it's only like 30 years after Nkrumah and stuff like that. Like, he was alive 20 years ago. Y'all don't, he got a whole university. Y'all
oh, like, what's going on? You know?
It's crazy, bro.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I think that the Black Americans, descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, see, that's always the thing too. Like, oh, I'm not from Africa. I've been here. Like, okay, bro. All right, just chill out. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think at some point culturally we're 400 to 500 years removed from Africa culturally. Now, genetically, yes, and that's where ethnicities and lineages come from different environmental situations and, you know, different things that create a culture around a group of people that say, hey, we're this, right? Based on a number of different factors. And I think as Black Americans, we have had a host of things that have made us a
separate demographic or separate group,
different lineage, right? Not to say we're separate, but we're just different lineage. We're cousins. We have a different way of doing things and creating things. Because I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, there's really nobody else out here that's stomping on white supremacy like us. Like, we ain't stopped fighting, right? But other places is like, oh, well, just guess we got to deal with it. No, that's
the funny thing is, the people in the Western Hemisphere, you know, be it the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, be the people in, you know, Brazil, be the ones in the South, even what they call the Seminoles, which are a Black group of Africans in America, you know. Yeah, we've been fighting, bro. We've been fighting, which is interesting because they always had this thing where they say that there is our ancestors didn't fight. I'm not my ancestors, but I'm not my grandparents. Your grandparents were fighting, or you wouldn't be here. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah, and the thing is, there's such a rich cultural history of the resistance. You talk about the quilombos, Palmares, in Brazil. You talk about the Haitian Revolution. You talk about the Maroons
you
of
hear about there's a brother who was supposed to initially, I don't know, I haven't done actual research on it, but related to the revolution in Haiti, a brother named Bookman who was from, oh yeah, all right, yeah, all right. Yeah, it's interesting, man. But I mean, one thing about Haiti that always surprised me was Haiti was the pinnacle, meaning like the richest area in the Western Hemisphere before they did the revolution. And once they gained independence, everybody, like you said, once again on code, did embargoes and everything else, and now it's the quote unquote the poorest area. That's crazy.
Well, here's the thing: once you gain independence, it's the fight is not over, right? Now you have to fight individuals who are just kind of him-hawing around and just kind of, it's like, no, we got to have order, we got to have a code, we got to have all these things in order to keep and protect what we have. We can't just start, just chilling and relaxing and drinking and smoking and celebrating. No, now it's gonna be even harder,
Yeah,
right, than the actual war to gain independence itself. Because you look at these countries who, oh, we're independent. Yeah, but y'all are poor. Like, y'all have sanctions and, you got tons of resources, but you don't have any ways to utilize those resources to enrich your people, right? And that's done by design, but at the same time, come on, man, like, melanated people all over the planet are the main innovators of civilization. So don't tell me y'all don't have the means to do it. All y'all got to do is just come together and figure it out, right?
Yep.
So,
well, that has to be the code, man. People got to work through stuff and work collaboratively. There's not enough collaboration. There's too much ego, and people get caught in bullshit, man. It's just that simple. Like, we'll talk, but going to the other thing about, like, you got that. Oh, tell us about the. Can you tell us about the training ground you got? You say I seen you had some choice. I see you had some choice, like angles and shots of it. I was like, oh, what Anubis was doing over there? So can you tell us about it a little bit? Give us a little tantalization for it, man. Come on, what's happening over there? What you working on?
So it's a private property. It's 60 acres. It's got 2 tactical berms, 3-sided. It's got it's got a double-sided berm, so you can shoot in 2 directions. Those are all on one side, and then you have 3 additional berms that are at least 25 yards. One that can be used as a 200-yard berm. It's got 2 classrooms, got electricity, porta potties. Very clean, by the way.
I've been looking for a place to practice and dial in my 308 for long range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got that.
All right. So I'm gonna look at flights on kayak right now. I'll probably be up there probably Thursday night. I'm coming in hot.
I got some 308 rounds for you in case you need.
Beautiful. I got some too from Ukraine. I just bought them on the dark web. They're selling them for pennies on the dollar, man. Did you hear about there's people on the dark web selling like some javelins from Ukraine because all the aid they're getting? I was cracking up. I was like, even if this is fake, this is hilarious. I don't care, because they're getting so much surplus from you. Someone's just like, instead of me blowing up a Russian helicopter, I could just sell this for 20 G's real quick.
Ukrainian oligarch making mad dough right now.
Did you hear about the oligarch caught in like Switzerland partying or some shit? Yeah, I was like, aren't y'all supposed to be under siege right now? They up there smacking hookers on the ass, sniffing, blow off a dude's dicks and shit. I was like, what are y'all doing?
Bro, I had one of my mentors who's former.
That's funny, bro.
Who's a former SEAL trainer, and he has a it's kind of like a training.
Yo, the New York Times says right now the aid given to Ukraine is over 54 billion, bro. I'm trying to look
in totality or just today.
So the one I'm because I was looking it up. So the 54. Don't try to make me this behind a paywall. Get out of here. Get out of here. I hate that. Yo, that used to not be like that on the internet. If it's news, it's news. Why are you making me have to pay to look at this article? Fuck y'all. That's garbage, yo. Ukraine foreign aid. 50, I'm gonna try to find it real quick. I was trying to look for a total, seeing how much they got in total from different countries.
Yeah.
That's only the US. Only the US. The US is giving over 54 billion to the Ukraine, bro. That's crazy.
They got a trillion. I mean,
yo, that's crazy. Nah, I can't believe it's trading, bro. You doing some rapper stuff. You just saying something because it sounds cool.
Yeah, I'll just talk it.
All right, so they did a $140 billion one. They what else they got? And then there's another package that they gave 13.6. So altogether 54 billion. Or just as that's crazy.
That's a lot of ammo and weapons and provisions.
And that's a lot of hardening up schools and stuff. You worry about babies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
Are you talking about your old head was saying some stuff about
Yeah, he was like, hey bro, he was like, you interested in going into Ukraine? I'll pay you $2,000 a day. I was like, what? And this was he was like, yeah, this is to get some rich motherfuckers out the country. And I'm like, I was like, what's this, a 10-day op? Like, what is this, bro? My wife was like, nigga, you better sit your ass down somewhere.
That's what your wife told you?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because it all sounds good to you in there, man. You don't know what you could be walking into, bro. I was laughing because did you hear about some of the people getting in and then trying to get out because they was giving them like, here's one crayon and two two non-matching rifle rounds for your rifle. You got a 7.62 by 39 hit, 7.62 by 5.1. Good luck.
Did you see that old Negro man in his 60s talking about, I'm going to fight for Ukraine?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm like, bro, you don't sit your old ass down somewhere.
Who let their grandpa do that? Who let their grandpa go to Ukraine and fight?
Who let their uncle out the house?
I told you I was really back in Nam. I told you it was no lie. I'm in there.
Yo, on the real though, like when China goes into Taiwan, bro.
Oh well, the world is gonna have a seizure. The world's gonna, because China's, you gonna do an embargo against China?
Come on, man. Come on,
they
man.
Barely survived and do an embargo over Russia. They gonna do one against China,
bro.
And you gotta also account for
issues.
China's gotta have more foreign nationals in America than Russia does.
Well, I mean, here's the thing to pay attention to. Once motherfuckers start going home, why are all these Chinese people leaving the country?
They got some sensitive information. Yeah.
You know, so
you remember when the Chinese chick was honey potting all those dudes in California, and she was in the Chinese CCP whatever military whatever?
No,
you didn't hear. Oh, let me look at this article for you, bro. So anyway, this Chinese woman in California, San Francisco, you know, all that West Coast stuff. She was honey potting like governors, mayors, like all sorts of high political offices in the West Coast. And she's just, you know what a honeypot is, right?
Yeah.
So she's honeypot all of them, and then she just routed with all these secrets and just disappeared. But she got them to enact like legislation. She got them to like buy different stuff, like all sorts of like bills she got pushed through, all sorts of stuff that she's like, I'm out. Chinese honeypot. I think it was California. I'm gonna just say California.
Yo, that's so crazy, dog.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. People think I be making stuff up, yo, bro. Like, all right.
Now,
the funny thing is, a lot of this stuff don't get posted in main media because it goes against their interests. So you got to find the stuff in between. Right. Oh, I got one on ABC News. That should be good enough. ABC News. Be like, oh, that's real, because you get stuff from the New York Post. Be like, that's not real. Okay. All right. Whatever. Let me see. Boom. All right. So. Swalwell committee colleagues asked for FBI for briefing on China honeypot. So this is a couple years ago.
Damn.
Chinese spy named Fang Fang. Fang Fang was giving them that Fang Fang, you know. She's Chinese. Oh man, she's So she slept with some mayors in some place. She's the funny thing was too, she's banging a whole bunch of people in a lot of order. So she was not with one person. She got a lot of them to do different shit for her, push legislation through, buy stuff, give up funding, like all sorts of stuff. So she was around for how many years? 4 years, banging all these dudes in high political offices and disappeared.
So what did Superhead get out of all the crap she was doing?
See, got aim higher, yo. Got aim higher. She could have done some stuff for the people, yo. Superhead just making music videos and shit. This chick is, look at her. Fang Fang look like a normal Chinese chick. She's not even bad, bro. She's not bad.
The hell?
But he's just like, I got that wet noodle fetish. Oh, she's not even bad, bro. I say this. So you know they say like white women, a black man's kryptonite. Asian women, that gay. Black women and Asian women, white man's kryptonite, man.
Yeah.
But Fang Fang was doing it for 4 years. She got all sorts of stuff, man. He said, "Why do you like me so much, Fang Fang?" She said, "Cause I want to practice my English."
Wow.
He knew it was weird, bro.
Yeah. He's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She can't
Wait
like
a
me.
minute. Why do you like me so much? So she raised money. She got money for him to get reelected. So she was all in there, bro. So they say I'm trying to find out like who else was involved, but there's at least one mayor. I knew there was more than one person. It wasn't one person. Because when I saw the one article, she was banging a whole bunch of people, yo.
Damn, that's bananas, dude.
And it's all on the West Coast. I was like, all the Asian people over there, you get caught by the one that's works for the Chinese Communist Party. Like you could have found one Asian chick that wasn't a government plant. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Plenty of Asian chicks already in Cali
That's what I say.
murdering her right now, bro.
Yo,
like,
bro.
that's crazy. So
I can't find other information on it.
A little birdie said the Department of Homeland Security has confirmed there's Russian operators like taking down fucking Texas power plants and shit.
Texas is gonna blame everyone for their problems, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when it got hot and stuff just stopped working? Remember when, like, come on, Texas, like you're known for stuff being hot. How your whole grid's going down, bro? Come on, Texas. And then like Texas set up so the grid was not tied to anybody else's, so it's just on them. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
then Texas said they're gonna succeed. Come on, Texas. Are you not gonna succeed, bro? Come on, man. You want that work? What if Mexico makes a move then? What if y'all succeed and Mexico's like, we've been waiting for this shit? And then whole bunch of wide brim hats coming over the border. They already half of them already there, bro.
They're gonna be like, Colorado.
They activate the sleeper Mexican cells, bro. Middle of the night, the migrant workers just get up.
Yeah.
That'd be funny as fuck, bro. That's a movie plot right there. Somebody gonna steal my movie plot, bro. That's copyrighted, you motherfuckers. Don't take my movie plot. Activate the sleeper Mexican cells, man, in Texas, bro.
The state of Texas secedes from the United States.
They're gonna be like, oh man, oh, the Mexican sleeper cells. That's quality, bro, right there, bro. That's
car yells come out the woodwork.
you hear the boots walking softly across the ostrich boots, man. Oh, that shit gonna be funny. I might do a spinoff of that this summer, yo. I gotta get some of my Mexican homies together.
Hey, so do you do film then?
No, but I've written some short films, but I haven't done any of them.
Okay,
So
you have to exchange.
Also, I saw some of your artwork, bro. I seen some of your film and stuff you've done. I was like, all right, I gotta talk about it, man. Because all right, so I got a couple stories we're gonna talk about offline. I got the basic character profiles written, but I haven't done much more than that.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to delve into this right here, bro.
Nah, we'll do it offline. We'll do it offline.
I got a couple zingers, bro. I got a couple zingers. Yeah. They would be hot.
Yeah. Nah, I got a couple little things too. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to, have other writers, read your stuff to be like, damn, this shit was dope. Man, like,
yeah, I mean, right? I mean, that's what it is. Like, that's the funny thing about being black men and being 2A. there's so many different facets to it, and people try to put you in one hole. Oh, you're a gun nut. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, you're a Trumper. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a Black person who likes staying alive and likes taking care of their loved ones. Yeah. So
entrepreneur, father.
I know. You like Trump because he supports small business. Well, I'm a small business, so
right. Writer, actor, like, come on, man, get out of here. Like,
that's crazy. Bro. That's crazy. So all right, let's get ready to wrap it up. Do you have anything upcoming that people should be reaching out for? I know you had that the news thing that posted recently. People could check you out on there, but you have any events coming up that you want to plug, or anything particularly want people to reach out for upcoming?
Yeah, no events yet.
Okay.
But I'm brainstorming about some things that
we should plan something for like September or something like that.
Yeah, let's do it, bro. Because like I say, we got I'll tell you offline, but
That's cool. That's cool. Let's do it. So all right, so if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you have any concerns related to anything regarding personal protection, armed or unarmed, reach out to Anubis Heru. He's going to take care of you. As you heard, he offers individual stuff. He offers couples. He offers stuff for in-home. These are things you're not going to get with NRA instructors. Nothing to knock against them, but they're not going to give you the level of specificity and the level of variance you need. All right.
They're just gonna give you the cookie cutter.
Yeah.
How you shoot a pistol.
You don't want that. You want something that's personalized to you as an individual and what your dynamics are as an individual and your family. So reach out to them. What's your website and how they can reach you again?
Yeah, so 1770armory.com. That is the business. You can reach me at Anubis at 1770armory.com. I'm also on Instagram, Anubis_Heru. Also, Addicts is the brand that I created specifically for Black 2A representation. A lot of these brands out here, they're great, but they're a little too patriotic in the way that we don't subscribe to. So created Addicts.
Isn't it an interesting dynamic? Like,
yeah.
They think that since they like guns, they have to be patriotic. I'm pretty sure.
Right. I'm just kind of like, and a lot of times, historically, we have been more patriotic.
Which is crazy too, right? Because Black people have fought in every war.
Every single one, bro.
The first one being our war for our own freedom. like it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, so that's why I named it Addicts, to start with Christmas Addicts.
Yeah, I like that.
1770. And then
I like the synergy you got there. I like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, reach out to me on that. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, addicts.clothing if you want to check out the Addicts brand. We have, if you join our email list, give you 10% off of your first order, shit like that. So pretty cool gear. I design everything myself. So
beautiful.
But yeah, that's pretty much the gist, man.
All right, well, thank you so much today, Anubis, for sharing your time with us, letting us speak to you, learn something with you. Oh yeah, we gotta do more of this. We might have to do a separate spinoff for the cookie cutter, not cookie cutter, tinfoil hat program,
Yeah.
It's like, reality is always stranger than fiction, man. It's complete stuff.
It is.
And like same thing too, like you see, like even with the jab, people were talking about, like, at first they said it's going to stop transmission, then they said it's not stopping transmission. Then it's like, it's crazy. And I was, it doesn't even follow the definition of a vaccine. But at the same time, they were literally valuing and devaluing people, killing people. And if you said this stuff at that time, you're a conspiracy theorist. Now they're like, we did the best we could. That's what the government stance is now. They're like, we did the best.
Heart attacks and high blood pressure off the charts right now.
You see that right now? They said it's not unrelated, completely unrelated. People are just dying. Like, that's crazy, bro. But all right, so make sure to subscribe so you guys can get the YouTube videos as they come out. Make sure that you follow the blog so you can see some of these articles. Every article I publish will have meticulous citations, so you can see the video sources, you can see the actual documents, so it's not just me spitting out my ass. You can go look at the stuff yourself. I'm never going to try to sway people to think one way or another, but I'm going to challenge people to think critically and think for themselves.
Yep.
So the next article, we have one for Ulvade already posted, talking about the failures of the law enforcement there and how citizenry could have acted potentially. And then we have another one talking about how police have no legal obligation to protect you in any capacity. It's at their own discretion what they do or don't do. And they have impunity. You might get a cop for something, but you get one cop, there's going to be another to replace them, and the institution is going to stay the same. So yeah, the institution policing needs changing. As Anubis and I both said, we're not against cops, just the institution has issues. We got to fix it or replace it with something else. You know, you can have private policing, just like you have a review for Yelp for a restaurant, you have a review for your police station or whatever, police department. This one's corrupt. They try to get hand jobs for every traffic stop. This one's up to, legit. They'll help you, when you have a situation, they'll talk to your kids. So that's one thing straight off the cuff that's easy. You could privatize and have, instead of monopolies on police departments, you can have individual police departments competing. That's one way to take care of it. I mean, off the cuff. Like universities, police have to get what's that term? They have to get like validated, whatever, accredited. They have to get accredited. Yeah. So you can get accredited too, just like any other corporation. Police departments are corporations. So you can get accredited and then you can roll out your own thing. But there's different ways to skin the cat. Although I don't suggest skinning cats, they move a lot. Yeah. All right. So thank you again, Anubis. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Remember, as always, if you're in the Philadelphia area, you have any questions related to armed or unarmed personal protection consultations, we do virtual, we do in-home, we do family stuff, we do all that. So hit us up, defense-solutions.com. And thank you again, Anubis. Take care, bro. Peace.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
You too, brother. Take care of yourself. Peace. Light fighter out.
Light fighters, baby. Let's go. Alumni. What?
Yeah, baby.